reload back to the top side. But our big loser of the day, I watched that Biggest Loser documentary on
so the people that
Netflix.
lose the weight?
Yeah. There's some crazy stuff going on there. As for TSLA, guys, we did get chopped up a little bit this morning, and that is going to be
I like how you ended that. There's some crazy stuff going on there. All right, we won't ask. It is 2 o'clock, guys. We'll see you guys same bat time, same bat channel, guys. I'll see everybody at the big desk shortly.
All right, back over here. Yo, what's up, everybody? Yeah, we're not getting all connected up. It's 2 p.m. Welcome back right there. I got to still get over it.
It was the easiest gag that these guys could have pulled, because I heard the conversations like there's ads everywhere.
Yeah.
They're going back and forth. Oh my goodness, like Sharif just goes, oh, you turn on Amazon this and you get.
I heard that part.
Ads.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, whether we had one scripted or not, the second it came to me, I would have broken right into like one of the reads.
Yeah. Well, you're next level. You're next level.
Just do the ad read like right then and there. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to. No, but you're so true about that. Like I was watching Crave is bad. I was telling you this, like I have the basic for Crave.
Yeah,
I'm like, most of the other ones I'll pay a little extra, but not like for Crave, which is like a streaming. Is it in the States?
No.
Okay, so it's in Canada, right? So we get like HBO Max and a bunch of other stuff with Crave here in Canada. But like if you get the lowest thing, like not only will there be an ad when I'm watching The Wire, so like I'll turn it on and go in the middle of an episode, and let's just say there's an ad break, but also within the first minute of watching, there's an ad break.
I can't stand
So I'll
that,
watch an ad break, it'll come in, show me like 5 seconds of the show, and then jump to another ad break. I'm like, come on.
I'm not down. I just pay the $10 extra and get it. No ads.
Yeah,
I can't. We just froze, by the way, but we're back.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, that's okay. It might have been me. I was sort of doing some random things. Yeah, no, for me, it's like, honestly, I think I'm the same way with Amazon, but I don't really watch anything on Amazon, so it's all good. But that's the one that we have ad tiers, and we got rid of Disney. I think we talked about that, and but other than that, anyways. Yeah, welcome everybody. I'm in position right now. I've got still some Apple long, and I've got some Micron short. So Apple long, Micron short. I was going to break out of Apple if we break through this 285 right there, but it doesn't look like that's happening right now. So sorry, that's Apple. Yeah, what am I talking about? Apple right there, 285. So watch out for that break a little bit lower on that name. We're going to get out. We are also into. See, I type in AAPL. That's the right symbol, right? Yeah, there it is. Just click on the blotter, it will show better. Yeah, so this is what we still have on there. It's funny because I missed basically all of these VWAPs. I just wasn't here. And even just now, I just got back to my desk right there and it bounced off VWAP again. So there it is. There's all my positions loading up right there. We're short Micron, we're long on Apple. And this Apple trade is still from the beginning, but we were able to, as we came back, you can see where we came back from our workout there. We got out right there around 286, 285, breaking back down into the 50 period, and then boom, goes the dynamite there. And we actually lost on Micron. We were short, and out. Then we tried to go short again there at 240.50, and that broke higher. Now I'm short again here on Micron. Just want to see about this market. I mean, Micron's red, market's quite nicely green, and just wait to see if this breaks lower. So I'm still in the short for Micron, short here, right now. Waiting for basically, I was going to give it to 241, but I was even just thinking 50s break. So just small little 35-cent worth of risk right there. A lot of earnings today. I see some people asking in the chat. Yeah, it's Marvell. It's so on and so forth. It's
CrowdStrike.
Yeah, it's quite a busy situation.
Asana and American Eagle.
Ah, yeah, American Eagle, right.
He's gone already.
He likes
he's
that
all
one,
excited about that. Little Sydney Sweeney action. Whatever. No, I don't mean anything by that. Look, the biggest moves, some of the biggest moves are going to end up being in the crypto space. Actually, the stocks that I'm looking at right now, because not anything, I want to see the futures break this wedge they're in. And oddly enough, and this is going to sound weird, it's Beyond Meat. That's the one I'm watching right now. Like yesterday, it was a 150 short in the afternoon, and then it was a 150 short this morning had I traded it, but holds the bottom, breaks a bit of the trend, like I can show you. It broke a trend line just now, and trying to hold above the volume-weighted average price. So all I needed to do was kind of break this little consolidation above VWAP, and then I'm taking a shot at Beyond Long for the first time in, I don't know, I can't remember the last time. Didn't look for a short in this. But I just want to see it hold that VWAP and break this little top. Yeah, so yesterday was the dollar break.
Right.
Today it bounces off a quarter, go figure. Like yesterday's high 150, bounced off a quarter. Today bounces off a quarter. So if you hold VWAP, why not get back into the 150 level? So yeah, Beyond Meat's going to be on my mind. It's just breaking that consolidation now. I might try to slide in on the bid without having, or maybe even get a midpoint. If I can put a midpoint in or get these 38 halves in here, see if we can't get filled before this one breaks 40. Again, like the other thing that we're going to do, we'll go over the rundown as usual. I know a few people asked, are we going to do the aftermarket show? Like, what are the circumstances under which we do the aftermarket show? It's going to be for like the big earnings. And there's nothing against CrowdStrike or Asana or American Eagle or Marvell, but like we're not going to let Nvidia or like Meta, Apple, like those are the ones where it's a gigantic market moving type of event where there's lots of bigger consequences. So, and you never know what types of names can vault themselves into that kind of a category. And we're always willing to sort of listen to input. That's why we started early in the first place, everybody. So yeah, buckle up. The market's headed back a little bit higher.
Yeah,
Bedrock
sure
painting,
is.
that's a good one. I did say, I just saw in the chat, I don't know if I want to read that one back out aloud, but yeah, Beyond Meat is going to be on my mind. But crypto has been the big story. 92,000 on Bitcoin. 92. And I'm kicking myself because something happened yesterday. The Fed ended quantitative easing. Duh. Oops. And that kind of matters. Officially ended quantitative easing. They did inject a bunch into the banking system last night. And the results have been pretty good for the crypto space, unless you are Hut 8. Still haven't figured out what.
There has to be a story there. I mean, I know we haven't figured it out yet, but there has to be. We'll ask.
Tell me, man.
We'll have to search out for some Hut 8.
Nope.
That is a strange one. That's for sure. Yeah, Marvell, the big one, MRVL. We're just going to wait for Sharif. He's just going to set that all up, and then we're going to go over some of the names that you guys are picking up right there. So there's Marvell. Yeah, nice move there today, up another 2.5% here as they report tonight. So get ready for that, man. The guts in the AI trade Marvell. So watch out there. I think there's a lot of use case scenario for MRVL, and we'll see if that can go. All right, here we go, man. We're starting to get a little bit of a downside push now, finally. I'll put another bid at 90 right there. We did just get filled at 90, and then it bounced off of us. I'm going to put another trade there as well. We got 06s, and then we got 90s. So little 20 cents, then 30 cent there on Micron. Remember, our stop is 240 50s. So I got to, if we do wipe down like that, I got to get some more out. I don't have to, but every time it wipes, that's basically 1-to-1, and 80s would be a little bit better. So the 90 was a good fill. The 90 was a good fill, getting us better than 1-to-1. So yeah, man, so far so good here in the day. I mean, it's 2:08 right here. You're gonna rock and roll with us until the close, and then we'll talk about some of those names that are reporting. We'll look at some charts. You can ask us our opinion, so on and so forth, and we'll get it going from there. But yeah, the Nasdaq, what a great day. This move, not so sure about. Happened at about 11 o'clock, just like immediately crashing back in right there. And right now we're going to figure it out as we bounce off VWAP and look to get just a little bit higher. And Apple just took off as well. So I'm still in those two positions, Apple and Micron. There's Apple. We get a little piece out, is it? So a piece out there at that top, and then a piece out as we take out the 200 period and see if we can just get just a tad, a little wee bit lower, and we would be happy. So let's go Micron, see if we can get below this 240. I may take a fill right here, right now, actually, at 240, and just cover that up a little bit, and then wait for a lower print. All right, looks like we are ready with Sharif right now, so let's go back over to the desk. I just put another bit in the 80s, and we'll see what Sharif is up to.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, everyone. The show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys, they're locked, they're loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers on the board is to get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. But you got to throw in that $ before you vote. Otherwise, it does not register. So throw in the $, followed by whatever ticker your heart so desires. Let's look, guys, at all four major averages. And yes, all four major averages in positive territory, being led by tech, the NQ up 0.82%, leading the way here with the ES up a fifth of a percent, but above 6,800, trying to break through that 6,850 critical level. The Dow up a third of a percent, trading above 47,500, and the Russell 2000 having a good day as well, up a third. But it really has been the crypto show today, boys, with Bitcoin up almost 8% on the day, 7.82, up to 92,200, and ETH back above 3,000 bucks, up 9.61% on the day. Good look for crypto. It has been a tough time of it as of late. Let's talk about Tesla, the #1 name as decided by you guys. So many different headlines to cover today for Tesla. Let's start with the Michael Burry one. He was apparently being pegged with a short position. He made it clear on Tuesday that while he recently published a sharp critique of Tesla in his Substack, he's not currently shorting the stock. Still, his fundamental view, the company is skeptical. Secondly, we had the China sales come out for Tesla, positive 9.9% year-over-year increase in the month of November, and the largest monthly increase the company's had in 14 months. There was also a bad headline for Tesla today, specifically with their battery packs out in China. The LG battery packs seem to have a problem, whereas the Panasonic ones don't, guys. So Tesla down here, 0.8%.
Yeah, it was.
Tesla, okay.
Like Tesla has been one of those, it's so good, but it can be so bad and choppy. Like that's the best way to think about it. Like the market goes on its recovery. It looks so strong early on, and then it ends up in a downward trend for pretty much the most of the morning. Like I tried my hand in it alongside, that's what I was mentioning to you guys. Like when it finally showed the actual buyers above 33, they was trading Nvidia and Palantir in the morning and might have missed out on Tesla on the way back to the upside for this break, but I took the long, trying to bounce off VWAP here. It just could not go, and thankfully got away from it with a relatively tight stop. It was disappointing. When this lost VWAP, heck, that was, if you're looking short, that's about as gorgeous as it gets for a VWAP short. And with the market breaking back out, like see the NASDAQ breaking this wedge? Like inside day, breaking the wedge to the upside and looking strong. Well, Tesla's lagging that move by not being at the volume weighted average price. It's trying to break out. This is one that could easily play some catch up here. It's down the amount that the NASDAQ is up. So you'd like to think that if we're gonna get going here this afternoon, and well, maybe we don't, I don't know. But if we do break those highs, I find it hard to believe Tesla's not gonna give us one of those patented VWAP breaks. It happened very late yesterday at about 3:30, but it rallied pretty good if you waited for this one to break above VWAP when it was in a similar, not as bad downward trend. And you were rewarded. So I think look for that this afternoon. Hopefully some catch up here by Tesla.
All right, we just got some more Micron. Nice move to the downside. We're really happy with that. We have half left on Micron as we start to get a little bit lower. Yeah, look, Tesla was on the sticky note today, so obviously we are sitting here trading it. And okay, hold on a second. There it is. So the first, we sort of covered this. We were long at 429, as we wrote down here, 429, 450, 430. Came back in, boom, to the upside. Nice little move there, up into 432, 433. Really got going, then faded back out, and then it was like, oh my gosh, what have we done? And it just ripped right back there again to the top side for Tesla, all the way up to 437. What a great high that was. You're now down off $10 there. Rebought it at 430 again. It worked until it didn't. So we were looking at basically this area right where we are right now. So I think it'd take a VWAP and we can get back into the long. I like all the stories surrounding Tesla. I mean, this is just a day where potentially it's a long and a short. Like if you just waited in the pre-market somewhere around here, I mean, that would have taken you out, but then this level was good. VWAP was good to the short side again. So it feels like the short was probably the easier trade, right where we were starting to get out there. Probably should have reversed it into that short, but yeah, right now, just kind of in the middle. So not super exciting, which is why it's not overly on my radar right now at all. That's Tesla, of course. And then right into here, that's that 428 area, right where we're at right now, 427 to 428, that I thought was gonna be able to hold, but it didn't really hold at all. It's an area, and that's where we are right now. So we'll see if this is something that winds up eventually breaking or not, but I would much rather trade the long down here where there's some daily support, and then even the short up around 430 again is still fine. But yeah, caught in the middle, which is why we went over to Micron and Apple and all that. It's just Tesla was good until it wasn't. So yeah, unfortunately not, well, it's still a great stock today, but not doing much, man. I mean, we opened up right here, 432, so not great to be down to 427, but I still like it. It's funny people mentioning GameStop. GameStop was a name that we should have talked about yesterday because as Bitcoin's been getting hit, you know, GameStop has been getting crushed, and then now it's had like 6 or 7 straight up days bouncing perfectly off that $20 mark. You know, the real long was right in around here. You know, holding it against 20 is still great. I mean, that goes back to last September, but what a good hold that GameStop was. What a monster there. So that's the thing, like, you know, all these stocks are left for dead, but there still is some good technical work that needs to be done. GameStop, wow, up 15% in just 5 days. So I like that stock. All right, well, that didn't make our list probably, but let's go over and see what number 2 is.
It is BYND, Sean, and from the pre-market yesterday to the pre-market this morning, we were up 67% on BYND. We're pulling back in now. In fact, we just went negative on the day, boys, to the tune of 0.5%. A bit of a head and shoulders pattern forming here on the multi-day look, but there's really no fundamental reason that this stock is running. It is still, guys, more social media speculation.
Yeah, and the irony being, I think I was just long at the exact place that we shorted yesterday. And it saves the trend line. That's the only reason I can tell you. It was exactly the same price, effectively, when it broke 140 in here to VWAP. And someone just asked me in the chat, they said, like, what, there's support down here. The 200 MA is at 130, you got 125. Yeah, for me, if I'm playing off of VWAP, I'd rather take, if I think it's going to support down here, I'd rather take it long down there a second time and take 2 separate trades. Like, have my out, play off VWAP to look to play into 150, or allow it to get down to, you know, 125. And you know, some people, maybe you'd want to average in. If it was a morning, maybe you'd think there'd be a lot more room. But that 150 isn't random. We sold there yesterday. Remember yesterday we were trading in the afternoon. I only took 1 trade in Beyond Meat. It was just that short trade at the end of the day. And it's like, we said 150 was a big spot, and then today it failed 150. The good news is, I mean, obviously it has yet to really break away from the $1.50. But the good news would be, despite the fact that this breakout kind of play into 50 hasn't worked, you've still held the quarter, right? Like, you broke the 1 to hold the quarter to make the next run at the 150. So as long as this doesn't close beneath 125, I'm saying you got there's a real chance that this might just be, hey, some profit taking in, but this is going to be key at 125. And for myself, I'm not holding a 139 long into 25, not my cup of tea. I think it's basically a penny stock. You can take multiple trades, 200 million in volume, but this is going to be a big test of 125. If you don't hold that, I shouldn't say weeks, I'm not in it, but if it doesn't hold that, then I think you run the risk of going back to $1. You're supposed to want to close this 10 days above $1. You know, this would be day 2 right now. So again, a lot of work needs to be done for these guys to, what's the best way to think about it? To sustain what has been like a bit of a dead cat bounce. There.
Good word, disdain. I like that one. Sustain, right? Okay, yeah. So just sitting on the bid here of Micron, just small at 77, see if we can get some more. We did get a dip down into 239.50 or so. Maybe we can get another whoosh down on that one. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the similar stuff that Neil was talking about there on Beyond Meat. I mean, the fact that it's broken through $1, we did that sort of yesterday. Nice move up, and you know, obviously holding those levels. Open door still at $7. This is still, I think, going to be a long. I was actually waiting at 7, even though I don't have the order there anymore. I told you earlier today that it was on the note at 7, and I was learning that at 7:05. That only gets down to 7:08, 7:07, but open door just barely, you know, floating right now at 0. So I think that that's a good level to watch out for. $7. I don't know. We can't scroll down to see any different levels, but I don't see. Probably not a huge level there at $7, but you know, 45 million shares today for open door, not too bad. The brigade is still kicking. I mean, we're hovering around that 50 period moving average on, 200 period moving average on the daily. So looking to get a little lower for BBAI before we actually think about buying some of this name. The 200 should be right around here. Yeah, there it is right now. But see, now we're starting to slope down. So that's never good. So you're in the penalty box now, just waiting to break out. Right there, or maybe get some more shares of this one down near $5. But there's Micron right there, 60 cents, so bang on that one, and we'll wait to see if it gets a little bit lower. I'm bidding now 239 flat. We'll see if we get something down there for Micron, and then just a couple more outs on Apple, and we'll go back over to Sharif. So a couple more outs on Apple as we sort of drift higher there. Still targeting 285 to get out if we break lower. All right, maybe something about crypto, Sharif? I don't know, go.
Intel, Sean, another strong one though, almost 8% in Greensville today. A couple of different headlines today on Intel. Obviously, we know that they have that Apple deal, possible Apple deal. We still don't have confirmation from Apple themselves, but widely being speculated that the lower end M chips starting in 2027 will start being manufactured by Intel's Foundry business, another major client for them after the deal with AMD earlier. We also found out that billionaire David Tepper dumped his Intel and Oracle stocks in the past quarter, and he piled them in to Nvidia and AMD. Interesting look there. Separately, we knew that Intel was looking at investing about $208 million in Malaysia to build on their already existing foundry business there, guys. So Intel, 43.15, 7.85% in Greensville.
Yeah, what a great run. Kind of like just a pure secondary rally after Friday. Spectacular, right? Like you get the lazy, hey, Intel's not doing anything, hanging around the $40, going like 1% in either direction. And then today you get the continuation of that big move on Friday on the Apple news. So obviously this is, I think it exceeded a lot of expectations, but this is a secondary breakout here on the daily, which feels like it's got room to, I know it's crazy to say, but feels like it's got room to $50. Like you're going to close above 42, that prior resistance. And yeah, like there's really not much in the way. It's completely gap filled several times now. So there was the gap fill to the July 2024s and then going all the way back to like the big dump. Like the big dump was in April, obviously when it was at 42 before. So now you're gonna close above 42 again. Just feels like it's on a runaway freight train. It couldn't even get to VWAP on a reversion. I talked about this in the lesson of the day. Like there was a mean revert on this, played it. And it might be at the same level that it was at before, but I don't necessarily see an obvious setup. Like if I was looking at any kind of upward trend, like it's like none of them have been any good. So I think maybe a failed break of the high would be the only way I'd think about shorting this. Just an absolute rocket ship, or let the futures come down and give you a setup for the short potentially in INTC. So yeah, I mean, I took a shot at it. It obviously worked. It just couldn't get all the way to the volume weighted average price. Great day for Intel. Close above 42 is going to be a big deal for them.
By the way, we're still $1 and change in the money here on Micron as we just broke lower. So good trade there. Hopefully you guys are on that one. But we want to mention to you BTCC right here. We've been digging into some exchanges and stumbled across, of course, BTCC. These guys are top 30 globally, and they have never, ever been hacked. While major exchanges keep getting wrecked, BTCC stays untouched. There's also no KYC if you're in the United States, Canada, or Europe. And now, through Tradertv.live, you get 100 USDT for registering, plus a 15% bonus that covers your losses up to 15 grand. If there's nothing that we're missing, go find out what this is all about by scanning that QR code for some more information. So we want to thank BTCC, and a good way of trading in and out of crypto. Go do your own due diligence. But I'm just getting some more out on Micron. Hopefully this market will fall in. The only thing is that, you know, we sort of pegged that bottom, right? We talked about a 15-cent worth of stop to get $1, so a 10 to 1 or so if we can get $1.50. To me, that's not it. It's just about trading the lines. We come back into VWAP, we come back into the 200 period. So now we're going to wait to see if Micron now that we only have about 30% left, about 30% left, we can wait to see now how much lower we go. All right, Sharif, that was Intel. Go get us with something else.
ABTC, Sean, American Bitcoin. It is a treasury, Bitcoin treasury company, basically mining Bitcoin, then holding it on their balance sheet. It's co-founded, of course, by President Trump's sons, Eric and Donald Trump. And the stock is down markedly, 37.5% here in less than 2 hours after the opening bell. 48 million shares had changed hands, 10 times the stock's daily average, guys. It's barely holding on to 2. ABTC down 37.5.
Yeah, of course we all bought it at $1.80 this morning, right? No, nobody. I'm sure somebody obviously did, because that's where it stopped for ABTC. And I know like there was, what were his exact words? Hold on a second. Let me just, because Adair sent this to me. Yeah, today our pre-merger private, Eric Trump's words. I should get that out of the way. Don't want to bury the lead here. Today, our pre-merger private placement shares unlocked. These early investors are freely available to cash in on their profits for the first time, which is why we will see volatility. Our fundamentals are virtually unmatched, and our differentiator, mining BTC at approximately 50% of spot with 56% gross margin in Q3 and climbing the BTC ranks daily. I'm holding all my ABTC shares, and I'm 100% committed to leading the industry. Those are Eric Trump's words, not mine. Just reading that out loud to you guys here. So that can happen when people have the opportunity to unload. You can get a cascade down moment. For now, it's been bought up, but there hasn't been a full V shape. Like what's oddly enough, like it's been like steadily almost program buying without anything parabolic, and it's held the initial halt down price, which was $2.39. It looks like I just eyeballing it here on the chart. So 39, I'm pretty sure is that. I think if it can break out that halt price, you might have a shot for the afternoon. But yeah, it's just sort of a lesson in what happens when early adopters or early investors have an opportunity to get out. It can get pretty nasty, but it doesn't always happen this way. What's the best example I want to think of? Was it CoreWeave or was it Circle? It might have been both of them.
Oh, on the
when the lockup. Oh, you know what? ARM is the
ARM.
best
I think ARM. I think was a good one.
ARM's the best example. When the lockup happened for everyone's like, oh my goodness, if SoftBank, all these people get out of their ARM shares, and the day came, and nothing happened. And anyone that was anticipating short that morning. It's kind of like a rip your face off rally because everyone was sort of, oh, let's be short in the pre-market. I think it was sliding down in the pre-market, and then when it didn't dip at the open, kind of like ABTC did, it was a bad day for the shorts. If you weren't like, wait a minute, this isn't falling, you had to get out quick. So sometimes this happens, and when you see it, just get out of the way because people are taking their early profits. I mean, not if you bought it at IPO, obviously, but if you were in from like the actual beginning, maybe you have profits.
We just got out right here a little bit more at 93. Well, we actually got 95s there, but nice move down on Micron. Yeah, I mean, we were actually looking for stories on HUD 8 as well today, as that was down quite nicely and battling back now, 3740, which is a good little level there for HUD 8. But here's another name that just got cracked there today. You know, Mara is one of the original sort of Bitcoin miners, and you know, they're going to be celebrated on a day like today, but you know, $23 down to 11. And I still feel like this $10 mark might be something on Mara. Like we just bounced off there back in April. Like all of these sort of tariff tantrum lows continue to be looked at. And yeah, there's another example right here on Mara. I don't know what Riot blockchain wound up doing during this whole thing, but I mean, if that got back in, I wonder if that's bounced off a very, not low enough there. No, not even close. So this is what I mean. Like, you know, some of these names like that Marathon, I don't know if that's something broken with that or not. I mean, you got to look at the fundamentals there with that. But I think MARA, if anything, has a lot of room back up to the upside. Just really crushed right there. But something fundamentally must be different about Mara because they're back to these April lows. And if you look at where Bitcoin is, most of these names are holdings, right? I mean, they just, sure, they're Bitcoin miners, but they're just mining Bitcoin. So at the end of the day, their end product is going to be BTC. So this is where those April lows are in Bitcoin. We never get to 75, 76,000. You know, we came close for sure, but Mara wasn't open when that was happening. So I'm really surprised by some of those lows in MARA. So for me, that might be one that we look to pick up at some point. We have Brian Shannon coming in 20 minutes. So we brought him over from our market rundown. He was with me every Tuesday, and now he's going to come here at 2:45. So get ready. We could talk some crypto with Brian at that time as well. But MU, Micron working, Apple working, and let's go find out one more name from Sharif.
I'm guessing Nvidia.
We do, guys. It is Nvidia. Have you heard of this one? Bless you, Neil. Up 0.5% on the day. NVDA, several headlines. Let's start with the Amazon headline here. So Amazon is going to expand, I should say, its partnership with NVIDIA, integrating the NVLink fusion system with AWS chips, specifically, of course, the Trainium chip, but they're also going to offer NVIDIA's Blackwell GPUs in their data centers vis-a-vis AWS. Good look there. Another headline that we got was NVIDIA's partnering with Europe's major LLM, Mistral, of course, out of France. Good look for the European company. But this one here, boys, this is a very interesting headline. NVIDIA CFO, Colette Kress, saying the OpenAI deal is not finalized yet, and it also It does not include OpenAI's purchases in that $500 billion booking that was given to us in earnings. So what she said was, we still haven't completed a definitive agreement, but we're working on it with them. Nvidia disclosed in its securities filing last month that its deal with ChatGPT had not yet closed. She also noted that the widely cited figure of $500 billion in orders for its Blackwell and Vera Rubin line of GPUs does not include the deal with OpenAI. Jensen Huang had previously said that the $500 billion figure does not include recent deals with Anthropic either. So for you to include those two, if they even materialize, that $500 billion figure would be markedly higher.
Well, Nvidia, you weren't actually, I always call this pattern the got away with the longs pattern, because Nvidia's up 0.6, but it actually wasn't really a long outside of like 930 to about 936. So any long after that was kind of timing the bounce, which worked a couple times, and then it was distinctly different. Like right after we left you guys at 11 o'clock. I mean, it's a usual, right? Like, you know, get up, probably usually go to the bathroom, like that kind of a thing. But things happened at 11 o'clock. It was like right after we threw you guys over. Like we had everything basically drop down heavily. And obviously there is some concern that people are talking about quite extensively with Nvidia and what are we going to call it, the circular funding and all of this. Ultimately, I think the addressable market long-term is going to be big enough here that the leader is going to be just fine. Competition is welcome. Nobody stays at 80 to 90% of a market with the margins as crazy as they are forever. That's just not how it works, people. So, you know, today, while not being as strong of a day as I think many would have expected, I thought we'd end up somewhere closer to breaking the 50 period on the daily. We're going to get nowhere close to that, or unless we go like $4 or $5 from here. But ultimately, this is still found support off 175. Maybe just needs to take a little bit more sideways action before we get a secondary breakout. Who knows? And then maybe we'll learn something tonight with Marvell, right?
Oh, yeah, you're going to learn lots with Marvell. Marvell last time was down 20% on their earnings. I don't know what the midday guys were up to, but the easiest trade all day happened. And it happened right at 11:30. Nvidia bounces off of 180 clean. There's no... Whatever. I mean, I'm not here, so it's easy to say like something's easy when you're not involved with it. Obviously, I mean that's trader's dilemma, right? Everybody is profitable until you try to figure out what exactly they're doing. This is actually a typo. It's 175 long. I wrote down on here. Oh no, this is the wrong sticky note actually. This is November 26th. Oh my God, I went to the wrong one. Today I was like, what am I even doing? Oh, that's because someone. That was a retweet or something. Here it is right here, 179 to 180 long. I was like, what, 176? Okay, right there. So we looking for a dip, buy opportunity. I mean, and it just came in clean, man, right into there, 180. Like, so just an epic drop in there. You know, it would have been tough to definitely try to catch the falling knife, but I think if you ever see a level like that comes in that you really like, you can actually wait for it to bounce off and then maybe play that kind of a break. So 180, 60 or something like that, and then give yourself 60 cents worth of room. And obviously that paid her up to $2. So there was definitely something available there on Nvidia today. So a missed opportunity. That 180 clean doesn't get much easier or better than that. So I hope some of you caught that. I hope the guys on the midday did. They're not here right now, but that was a really clean, and I honestly think that was the easiest trade of the day, just because it was a level that we had written down, clear, precise, even dollar level. And the same thing will be said at 190, you know, when it gets up to there again. So I really like that 180 trade. Too bad that's not in the account, but it should be. If you're sitting watching stock all day and a trader, it's probably something that you guys have. So good luck there on Nvidia. Maybe we get another opportunity later on. Hi, Ramin. Yeah, well, you're smarter than everybody else, Ramin. All right, what's up?
Before we move on, everybody, got to let you know that each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S., yet still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE-listed Oragenics, OGEN, they're changing all of that with its first-in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain excess. And with the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Origenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more and schedule meetings today. Scan the QR code you see right out there in front of you. Shout out to Origenics. I have seen a lot of this in the chat. Logic, spelled interestingly in the chat, but I can tell you that's your name. And they're saying Intel will be $100 by the end of the year. This year?
I'll take it.
We talking this year?
Why not?
Oh,
this
practice?
year?
This year. You didn't say 20. You didn't say end of 2026. I'm pretty sure you said end of year. You mean you're talking about this year. Now, would anybody who holds Intel shares be very, very happy if Intel got to $100? Sure, we would. But I'm going to put the odds of that happening at exactly 0.0007214, some nonsense like that. But like I'm going to float the monthly chart here. Just what is happening on Intel is pretty gorgeous. Like if you look at here, let me draw this trend line for you. I just wanted to have the monthly chart up because I was looking at this earlier. Why is this? Oh, it's already selected. Then why? Okay, come on, eSignal. All right, it doesn't want me there. Ray selected.
Yeah.
Right, there we go. I was just trying to draw this. Maybe that's not even the tool I want. It doesn't really matter. But what's happening here on the monthly chart for Intel, if you go all the way back to this resistance to 65, so we're talking 2021 highs, right? And then draw your trend line, which is just formed. And last month or 2 months ago, we wicked the trend line, and now we are breaking it out. That is a bullish break on the monthly chart for Intel. So yeah, $50 would be the kind of that next target to get to. And if you kind of maintain this break, why not 65? I'm not even thinking you get to that. I'm not even thinking end of the year for that. I mean, that's probably more like next year, early next year. I think that's an absolute possibility. Just looking at the technicals, 100, that's a bit of a different story. But yeah, Intel is absolutely on one. It's behaving, whoops, what did I do there? Distinctly differently from prior. So yeah, great breakout on the daily for Intel. You put it up on the monthly, pretty much exactly the same thing happening for sure. What is going on over there?
Lots of stuff. There's a camera that's going like basically right above me. So when I stand up, I'll just hit my head a couple times. And thing is about workers' comp, it's fine.
Safe.
Like I get concussions, something like that. It's all good over there.
There will be an FDA approved.
It might be. Oh yeah, that's right. I can go to OGen for all of that.
I don't want to.
But no, we're just adjusting some cameras there. As that desk behind us, getting some new shots involved and things like that. So shout out to Rob, Mark, and Fabian over here doing the best. And Randy's supervising somewhere. So that's good.
From home.
He's supervising remotely.
I haven't seen Randy.
No, Randy's here today, but he left. Yeah. 2 o'clock or so, he gone. Right there he's there to shovel his feet of snow that he has up there.
We got 2 centimeters, bro.
But he has way more.
Oh, they got a lot of snow.
Yeah. He only lives about an hour and a half north. Like I don't know, driving in that far is pretty nuts to me. But
what's the story with Block today?
Guacamole?
Block.
Oh, I don't know. There was, this morning there was Shopify. I mean, I remember we talked about Block when we talked about Shopify was down yesterday, and nice move up there today as PayPal, Block, Square is Block, Klarna. I heard that there was a big increase in, oh, by the way, right there's back into the dollar club. Hey, Ozan. Klarna up 3% there on buy now, pay never. That was a really good move upside there on Klarna. And you could see also maybe Affirm also had a good morning. And then Affirm is not having a good afternoon. Yeah, so they both fell down. Okay, what time was that
Block,
at?
this is about 1 o'clock. So what I'm seeing, because someone just asked about what happened to Block. So Block shares trading lower amid a presentation at the UBS Global Technology and AI Conference. Although, unfortunately, this headline does not tell me what was said at said conference. This is Block at about 1 o'clock on Block, maybe just after 1 o'clock.
Basically any story on Block.
The best thing is as long as she hears it, which now Dara does know, and unfortunately, it was a big time drop down. These guys can't. Again, like PayPal kind of feels the same way. Like they just can't seem to get out of their own way. Like every time you think there's a bounce happening, like 2 days ago, this looked like it was potentially breaking back out, and you could take 68s, and then abject failure over and over and over again. I believe we're going to go with Derek.
back
She's
once.
got more context.
I looked into it. So it sounds like at this UBS event, Owen B. Jennings, who is works for Square, he is their executive officer and head of business, he said the following. On the Square side, we expect GPV or gross purchasing volume growth in the low double-digit range, so a slight deceleration relative to Q3, largely driven by some weather events in October. So again, we've got XYZ guiding a little bit lower GPV growth specifically for Square for Q3, or for Q4 relative to Q3. Back to you.
And should they change their name? Bombs in the chat. They should change their name to Stir the Pot. I think they have it's a creative name, right? XYZ coordinates and they're blocked, so it's a cube. For the nerds out there, it's a pretty cool name. Although I have to admit, like, it's one of those where not everybody gets it right away. So is it really that good if nobody gets that one right away? I tend to think that's true. And for like, it's weird. Like, I don't really. We talked about this with regards to PayPal. I just find like there's so much competition right now in the fintech space and payments and kind of having a little bit of everything. And when you get like Robinhood's trying to do a little bit of everything, and it just you kind of get lost. And I feel like PayPal and Block, they've just kind of gotten lost in the sauce a little bit, unfortunately for them, and that could be the story. Looks like Tesla is trying to break VWAP here. Nvidia is nowhere near VWAP, don't worry about it. But Tesla trying to do what it did yesterday, which is in Power Hour, give some kind of a break, not necessarily to fresh highs, but just a bust of VWAP, like you change of trend, a break of VWAP, and then a little bit of take into resistance. So if you can finally close above VWAP, there's like $3 worth of room here if we can get some kind of a consolidation. So that's what I'm looking at least for now on Tesla. I mean, I can't tell you what's going to happen. And then outside of BYND and Tesla, which hopefully can find some strength, I'm looking for an opportunity to get back into Open. Open eventually worked at 730 to the short side, but it's trying to get back up here to VWAP now. Don't know if it'll get there, but I want to try to short before it does. Open Door not down as much as it was, a little bit of a rally early on, but another fail of the 50-period moving average. I just feel like okay, so we failed, you fail 11, you fail 9, but you haven't failed 7 yet. That could be tomorrow, but if it pops, I want to be able to short into 7 today. And then maybe the $7 even trade will be tomorrow for you. We got pretty close today, like 708. Depends. And like that could be close enough for some people. I'd like to see an actual test of 7.
We're moments away. We should have Brian Shannon coming through with Alpha Trends. So that should be a lot of fun. We'll talk to him about everything right here. I'm going to ask him, this is VWAP right here, and I actually tweeted and tagged him earlier. That was part of the reason why we went long in the first place on Apple down there, and then it's just held VWAP the whole way to the point where that was a good idea to get out. I'll take another piece out here near these tops, which we've been out before. So a nice little $3 in the money there. And then Micron on the short continuing to work as well. We got some more pieces out right here as we continue to move around some names. All right, so just real quick here on the stock heat map, let's just have a quick little look. The NASDAQ right now today up 0.8, by the way. The ES just up 0.2. So, you know, the broader market, we could check out quickly what the DIA is up right now. This is the Dow Jones 30, so they're up the most, or up double, actually, the S&P right now, only up 0.2. Diamonds up more, and of course, Nvidia, maybe a big part of that, as well as Apple. And I'm guessing some of the banks might be moving around a little bit here today, but this is what our little heat map looks like. And the red today, it's always disastrous when this is mainly red, but we'll take it over here today and look at consumer durables, energy, at crude hovering around 60. I'll have to check out what it's up to now. Get down, Micron. But yeah, XOM 1.4, CVX 2. So these are bad, right? Like people that chase these names because it's like, oh, they pay a dividend. Just make sure that, you know, that's actually worth it and you get in at good prices, because, you know, you can lose, like in one day, you lost half the dividend right there, right? It's a 3% dividend, down 1.4% today. So just be careful with chasing that. But yeah, yield is okay.
I'll give you
$20 is an interesting spot, 120 right there for maybe a move down.
I know Randy does this.
Yeah, okay.
Like I think, and it's a really good point, because I think a lot of times, like if you have a dividend stock, like you might be doing drips, so you'll probably, like you might just be a buyer of it every time they issue the dividend, which is, that's a pretty fair way to do it. Like I do that with.
Yeah, but there's no way you're buying, I mean,
That being
how big
said,
is your dividend?
Again, that's what I'm saying. Like, so you're not really ever adding to the position in a traditional sense. But what you can do is when you see obvious support, I have a daily chart up here that'll probably suffice. I can go longer time frame. But if you find an obvious support level over a longer time frame, that becomes a nice place to buy it. So whether it's about $100 or $140 on CVX here is a good one, or the example I wanted to use was Enbridge. Enbridge is the dual listed. Oh, I just typed it in Toronto. No, it doesn't really matter. I'm not gonna trade it, so I can just show it in Toronto. It's dual listed Toronto and New York. Whatever. I own it in TO, so it's just gonna be a little bit easier to show you this way. Like when you see Enbridge, look at this stock. Great name, right? But what are you gonna do? You're holding the 50 period, holding the 50 period, holding the 50 period, and then you get the break here, shows you support level, and all of a sudden you've got buying at 60. So it's in an upward trend. You can just put, maybe you'll want to buy in the upward trend. But once it shows you a level, yeah, just use that as your buy. Now you can't do that anymore. So I like when it shows you like a support level, just start taking it off of that is a good way to play it. And or you maybe use like a 200 period moving average. I suppose you can also do that with your dividend plays because you do want to avoid sort of randomly. And the ones that are trending down, you got to stay away from it. Like if you're in a downward trend on a dividend paying name, then I don't think you want to be adding to it. Like you can, I mean, if you like it fundamentally, you can hold and wait for a place to add. But in an upward trend, you got to find some places if you're trying to add to the position for sure. So that's one look. I like Enbridge. Actually, it's probably the largest energy holding of mine. It's one of the first companies I bought. And it's a good Canadian stock. Quality. There's not that many, very good Canadian stocks out there. Shopify we talked about this morning, but I'd say it's been a little disappointing recently.
All right, and as I was saying, yeah, I mean, that's why you want to pick tops and bottoms, which is why I showed you that Enbridge chart, thanks, or that XOM chart. Thanks, Neil, for maybe explaining it a little bit there. And then just over here, consumer non-durables, right? Procter & Gamble down today, Philip Morris, Pepsi, Coke, Kenvue is an interesting name maybe to watch. They've had a nice little bottom there as well. Hershey there. Yeah, nothing else too exciting over here for me. And then just looking back over here, the financials, I'm just doing a little bit of a market rundown. It's 2:46 right now, so we're entering the hour of power. Robinhood's nice, man. As crypto continues to go, Robinhood is also real nice right there, 4%. So I think as the market continues to sort of bump up on the crypto side of things, you're going to get names like a Robinhood, like a SoFi, that start to continue to go upside. And then we also have a nice name like Webull, that was starting to go. That's not part of the S&P 500, so we don't have to necessarily worry about that. But there's energy. I'm not into really any energy names. I have a small position in XLE, and then, of course, Enbridge is something that I've been buying for years and years and years, and like, honestly, like 30 years probably. I started my own investing as a teenager, my own accounts, and just took control my own RRSPs and everything like that, and just started buying as a little wee one. Really like Caterpillar there, GE Vernova, of course, a look on power, and all that data center needs to be powered at some point, so that's something to look at as well. Deere down 0.1, so that's an interesting name as they've been hit just recently on a guide, but you know, still absolutely fantastic name. This is a good one to get for a dividend that has some good upside as well. A stock that's interesting that we might not find anywhere on here is, of course, because I don't believe it's in the S&P 500, is going to be Reddit. Like I still really think that Reddit is one of those possible gems that is going to have a lot of upside if things break for them, meaning that, like, you know, that scraping of all their data and just good user content, putting it into the LLMs, but its valuation is quite ridiculous. It's still a relatively new stock into the market, RDDT. So here's Reddit right here. Their PE is, actually it's coming back in a little bit. Their 4P is 63, which is probably not that bad to pay up for a growth name. So maybe we do that. But you know, the market cap and the enterprise value is just 42 billion. So it's not even that huge right now for Reddit. It could be, I don't think there's too many comps. It just says peers, Meta, Google, things like that. So yeah, those aren't really it.
Tough comps.
Meta maybe is decent.
Yeah, Meta maybe, but you
close
can't
to Reddit.
Google, that's unfair.
No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know where you'd put Reddit. I guess it's like information technology. I'm not sure, but it's kind of like a social media stock, but you have people going there for news. But that's kind of why I like Reddit.
Data.
Yeah, they're selling data, and they're linked into the LLMs, so they are an AI play for sure. But they were around, well before we started talking about anything AI related. One of the biggest AI plays right now is going to be Tesla. In the whole market, really. I mean, the whole play for Tesla is that we're banking on full self-drive. We're trying to, figure out if those robots are going to be anything with Optimus, if there's anything going on with Hyperloop and everything that Elon Musk is working on right now. I don't actually know the list of them all. There's probably tons of them. But Tesla right there, we did some bad European car sales the other day, and today a story about a battery pack in Europe or something. Not performing very well. We do know that in cold weather, they don't perform as well. You get about maybe, what it is.
Anything?
No, I don't think it's cold enough around here yet. It takes a little bit of time to heat up the car. Like I noticed that'll take like 1% or 2% away maybe just to heat the car up in the morning. But I just have it scheduled, man. Every morning, like 7 a.m., boom, the car turns on and it gets going and it's nice and
Look at Brian. How long is it? But how long is it even to warm it up?
Oh, I don't even know. I think it's momentarily. Quick little warm up, man. Like very, very fast. Are we doing an ad? Or are we going straight to the man, the myth, the legend?
I see him.
Okay. Well, hey, I don't have Trader Talk on here, so this is something different. I mean, I got to get it all set up. We are very, very pleased and happy. Brian normally joins us. Do you have it?
No, I just checked that on.
Maybe I do on here somewhere. Brian's been with us for many, many years. We've never really on these shows because we bring him on during the market recap, but I don't have it on here right now, so I'm just gonna hit Money Storm. Let's hit the Money Storm right now and bring on our good friend from Alpha Trends. It's Brian Shannon, everybody. There it is. Hey, Brian, how's it going?
Hey, I like the Money Storm. That's a good intro. Hey, Neil, how you guys doing?
Great. It's good to talk to you because I know usually the only chance I get is when I would fill in for Sean on Tuesdays in the aftermarket show. So obviously a pleasure to talk to you and probably a lot to get to today. Everyone wants to be talking about crypto and Bitcoin moves and certainly AI. And I know you're probably one of the best technical analysis men out there, and probably some earnings to talk about as well because I want to get your thoughts on Marvell at some point. So yeah, a lot we can dive into. I don't know if you have anything that you've been looking at specifically today you want to lead with.
I did. I teased not only in the YouTube chat but on X that I would be talking about a stock that hasn't made a new high in 25 years, a mega cap stock. A couple people in your chat guessed it, and I promised them a book. You guys have any ideas what it might be?
A new mega cap stock that's just now making an all-time high. Is that what it is?
It's 2000. It had last time it made a new high was in March of 2000, at $82 per share.
Cisco.
Cisco, it is.
Someone
yes.
said that in the chat.
Bang, there it is right there, Brian. Fool me once. But no, I knew this because we talked about it on earnings. So what are you seeing here in Cisco?
This is the high from 2000, and it was at $82 per share. So that's the monthly time frame. That's how far you have to go back to find the all-time high. But here in the shorter term time frame, we just had a gap up on earnings over here, and it's digested those gains very nicely. I own the stock just a little bit lower, not too much lower than this. So I think it's still buyable in this zone if you take a look at like the 10-minute chart. It's just getting above this 5-day moving average. So right now, the stop is under here. I'm going to raise it up underneath today's low later today, but it looks like it should be easily heading towards that all-time high of $82 per share. I think there's a big electromagnet, like they bring those cars up out of the junkyard, looking to pull this one out of the junkyard to finally see that all-time high.
Can I ask you a question about this all-time high? Because this U-shaped pattern, like you put let's go to like a 3-month here, and then you get that like U-shape and breakout. I've seen this so many times, specifically on like new IPOs or stocks that haven't been in the market for a while. One that comes to mind would be Robinhood when it did this, and SoFi is kind of doing a similar pattern. Like for people that might not already be in this, we've seen this trade where, who wants to buy it as it's breaking that top? That's a pretty significant momentum breakout. Is this something where you would ever consider, hey, this is setting up on a really higher time frame to be this breakout? Add on a breakout if you're not already in. Is that something that you would look forward to? And then the second part would be, when you've got no levels to look at, how do you have any targets upside?
That's the easy. Let me take the easy question. The target when a stock is at all-time highs is higher. That's it. you manage risk. Now, some people use, Fibonacci extensions or measured moves and that sort of thing, and there's nothing wrong with those. But for me, it's always, how can I manage risk in the trade? As long as the market doesn't make higher lows on the time, it continues to make higher lows on the time frame I'm engaged in, then I'm going to continue to hold it and listen to the message of the market and let the market tell me where to get out. As far as adding on a breakout, Neil, so here's the thing: is that a lot of times when a stock makes a breakout, for even if it breaks, the high of 2 weeks ago in Cisco right around that 80 level, I would most likely be looking to sell some up in there, because the people who buy the breakouts, they serve a good role for us, because what they will do is give us liquidity on that breakout. The smart buy is down here as this momentum renews to the upside. And then as it gets up towards that level, that's where I want to look to take partial profits, because what we often see is a run up, breakout, and then what happens? Everyone complains breakouts don't work, it pulls back, and then it does this. And then I would look to, maybe sell some, not necessarily on the breakout, but as it's pulling away from it, let's say down in here. And then I would look to buy it back. If it continues back higher, then I could raise my stop up on the entire position underneath whatever that higher low might be. So good questions there.
And an even better answer is always, and what I like about that, there's something especially it happens a lot in day trading, where you get like the false break. And if you get at a good level, if you get a false break that maintains a higher low pattern, sometimes it'll actually be a VWAP. That's a great place to load back into it, because a lot of that early one, it's like, oh no, the break didn't work, they've just jumped out, which means there's less pressure as it goes into it the second time. Sometimes we call it taking inventory into the secondary break, as opposed to always buying that top. Yeah, great look for sure on Cisco and the technical setup that it has. Can I ask you about Marvell tonight?
Yeah, I haven't looked at it, and I don't mind looking at it, of course. Let me just, so looking at this daily chart, one, it's just, it had the pattern that everyone was looking at for the market that might have been destroyed. Everyone was looking for a right shoulder and then, a head and shoulders pattern. But on this daily time frame, it actually looks pretty bullish to me, in that we broke this prior band of resistance right here and closed that gap. So that's that band of resistance. We had a little shakeout down to the year-to-date anchor in the 200-day moving average. Now it looks like if that's a shakeout, then this thing is likely heading up towards these levels. I'm a little reluctant, as always, to buy a stock ahead of the earnings, especially when it's just made, these higher highs and higher lows above the rising 5-day moving average. But it definitely has a nice look for it being able to continue to move higher, unless something really bad happens and it gaps down. I'll put this one on my radar, Neil.
I appreciate it. I think that's what, I know Sean likes it. I'll get his opinions on it in just a quick little second. But I was like, well, what's the name of this pattern? And it's easy to draw it out there. And I'm like, well, it's really holding that bit of a trend, and it didn't actually break down. We call it like a W or whatever it might be. The other thing I would throw out there, and this is just something that I like, Brian, I don't know if this is something that you're a fan of. It flashed the death cross and then found support from that area, which to me, it's like there's got to be some people with negative bets trapped a little bit here, because when you flash the death cross, people are thinking sell, and then it's essentially been strong off that 80 area ever since when it flashed the death cross. And I find sometimes it looks like it can give a little bit more juice when you flash a technical setup in the other direction that some people like, and then you maintain an upward, what's been an upward trend. Kind of a weird time to get the death cross, as it looks like it's in a clean up trend to me.
You're right. Actually, if we're looking at the same thing, Neil, the death cross occurred right over here in April.
Death cross.
The 50 crossed below the 200, pretty much right at the lows. The interesting thing is we just saw a couple weeks ago the golden cross. We had the 50 come up through the 200. Now, some people will say that's not really one because the 200 is declining, and maybe that's the case. I don't know. But if it was to pull back and create a higher low, I think that would really pave the way for some nice upside. Otherwise, if it gaps up, it's just going to go, certainly without me. I'd like to see it kind of, settle down a few days. And then if they're good numbers, I don't see any reason why it can't trade up towards this zone.
Yeah, I'll throw you, Sean. It's done over 20% multiple times on earnings as well. So very volatile name. when it reports. Actually, one time a couple of years ago, right? It was
Marvell?
30 or 40% when I was in Paris.
Oh boy, I'm not. Yeah. That's when it broke $60 the first time. I actually, Brian, I bought Marvell, so silly, last time just before earnings at $70 because I believe in it so much, and then it went down 19% on earnings. And so, to your point, tough to buy a stock before any numbers printed because honestly, I mean, we're just guessing at this point, and then we react to what we see. I think that's what technical analysis, and that's why I use your example about the penalty box, right? Like, have your ideas, have your opinions, execute on them, and then reevaluate afterwards. We can always make mistakes. And I have the 3-day rule. So we were lucky enough to buy, and then after 3 days, pick it up, and obviously now it's well in the money. All right, Brian, you and I go back and forth, obviously all the time, on our usual spot here, and we always talk about crypto. And like, I have to call you on here because you're one of the great posts on X. I want everyone to go follow this guy at Alpha Trends. He's on StockTwits, one of the best in the business. And remind me again, Brian, this guy's so humble, he never brings it up. But you were awarded Technical Analyst of the Year or something on StockTwits. What was that exact title there? And we're very proud to have you on the show. So I do want you to let everybody know what that was.
I don't know what the official title was, but it was Educator of the Year, I think it was.
Even better. Even better. Because that's the thing about trading, right, is that all we can do is try to educate, not only ourselves, obviously the viewers as well. You have a great book out there. Maybe I'll go get that and show it after. But I do want to talk to you about Bitcoin, if that's okay, or Ethereum or anything like that, because you put some posts out. You talked about a possible top a while ago, and then that you maybe were buying back in on some of this weakness. I haven't perused some of your posts lately, but is there any actionable trades that you're seeing right now, either in Bitcoin, Ethereum? We had yesterday Kevin O'Leary on the show, and he called all the other ones something coins. Starts with the word S and kind of rhymes with like if you're batting and you get a hit, something like that, coins. And at the end of the day, he said there's only two that we have to worry about. That's Ethereum and Bitcoin. First of all, any opinion on that kind of a statement? And second of all, where do you think this market's going?
I think the top three are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Everything that I see is Solana is doing stuff. In fact, I think I saw something about Polymarket or maybe Kalshi today announced that they're building some of their stuff on the backbone of the Solana. So that is a pretty good endorsement for it. But it's these things have been a mess this past week and a half. I completely missed it this morning. I actually came in and I was looking at Solana, and I saw that Solana was rallying here first thing in the morning. And at that same exact time, Bitcoin was just sitting here doing nothing. And I was thinking, is it possible Solana could lead Bitcoin? And then I wasn't paying attention, and then it did this without me. So I don't have a position in it. Where we are, though, is right up where we failed last time. And you can't see it on here, but this is also the location of the declining 20-day moving average. Now, I don't really use a 20-day moving average often in Bitcoin, but I happen to see it there. We're still, the pattern here on the daily time frame is still one of lower highs and lower lows. Now, maybe this is our higher low, and we're going to start to stabilize in here and continue up towards that 100 level. I know that Tom Lee has an end-of-year price target of 100, but it was 200 last week, so take that with a grain of salt. But I currently would love to see that if it could kind of pull back a little bit, Sean, build a higher low on the shorter term time frame in here, maybe something that looks like this, come down towards that 80. Thought I had my pencil. Here we go. Do something like this, and then maybe I would probably buy some over here with a stop under that level. But I'm not going to chase it after it just ran from, just ran 10% here. I'm not going to chase it.
Yeah, and there's also nothing wrong with buying something a little higher, right? I mean, we don't have to always catch these complete bottoms. Buy something when it's working for you, I think is a great point there. All right, I'm going to ask you about one more, and then we're going to, we could keep going. If there's any questions in the chat, put some questions there. You have a couple more minutes with us, Brian, or what's your plan?
Yeah, sure, whatever you guys want.
All All right, then let's go. Whatever we want. Okay, this
You
is,
did it now.
now you done did it. Okay, so another name, you talked about Cisco, obviously a big cap name. One of the biggest caps out there, Meta, has really got hit again. And it was really just about their spend, right? I mean, I don't think any of us are too worried about Instagram or, sort of their daily active users. There's always some sort of lawsuits or the FTC or somebody coming at them for something. Australia just said no more social media for kids under the age of 16 or something. That was probably announced around here, and the Meta does this, but really got hit there on the spend, made the move down in, broke underneath the 200 period, and there's been some traders that were really aggressive in buying some of these dips on Meta. Are we okay to get involved now, or is there still a little ways to go? I mean, we fell from 800 down to 580, so we were down about 25-30% there, putting the name in bear territory. Is Meta setting up for anything with your analysis?
I think it was a couple of weeks ago, last time I was on, Sean, we spoke about Meta, and these are the drawings that I had on there that I thought, I was hoping we could pull back down to the anchor off of this low right here, which came together with the trend line off that low and this low in that 550 zone. Obviously, we've bounced prior to that. The problem here here's my dilemma is, the last time we had a sharp sell-off, we saw a V bottom. And this time, are we going to see a V bottom and it just goes, or are we going to run up against these moving averages rather, make maybe a slightly lower low in there, and then make the bigger move? That's what I'd love to see. Market doesn't care what I want. So when I look at this rally we just had, which is from 580 up to 650, so that's a 70-point move. That's what, 15%. And now we're running into that blue year-to-date anchor, the green anchor off of the April low, the 200-day moving average, the declining 50-day moving average. Maybe we can run up into this zone, but I just don't see a huge risk-reward, purchase up in here right now. If I was to buy it in this zone, I think you've got to have your stop pretty tight because, again, we've just, the ideal buy was as it made a higher high above that flat to rising 5-day moving average. I wasn't involved, so, I don't want to say shoulda, coulda, woulda, but I would be careful up in this zone. It seems like it probably has enough energy to continue up to there.
Okay,
up
good.
670.
Yeah, I like a little bit of a retracement there back in Meta, and of course a name that doesn't pay a dividend or anything, so you are looking for that growth. Okay, a couple questions from the chat, and then maybe if Neil finds something we can go over there as well. I remember again back in the good old days on our recap show, we did have Archer Aviation. I know that was a name that you had given to some traders as a possible idea, and then we covered it the very next week and so on and so forth. But this is a name that's really been getting hit down to the downside again here, Archer. And people wondering, is there going to be anything, there's Joby as well in this space as we worry about some of these eVTOLs and whatnot. But to me, again, Brian, I've been saying that if we get into lows, I mean, almost if you like any stock and you're in this tariff tantrum low area, it may be worth a buy. So what do you think about Archer? Is it on your radar at all? And for maybe traders that are possibly stuck long, are we just maybe exiting if this is a fail? Because it looks like we're trying to get back up, but $8 to me looks like some decent resistance that we'd like to cover up and then get above 950. And then maybe at that point, if we can break through a key psychological level of 10, then maybe this is back in play. But what are your thoughts currently, price action and potential move in the next little while for Archer Aviation?
John, at 8.5 level, I think you're right. That's, that broke, and we know the phrase, support broken tends to act as resistance.
Awesome.
So we have, we look at the personality of this stock. Anyone who is still holding this has to ask themselves, why were they not more aggressive about their profit taking? Because it has a history of running up and then just getting the shit kicked out of it. And that's exactly what's happened, 4 times in a row. So, as far as being stuck long, you got yourself stuck because you didn't have risk management. And I'm not calling anyone out. I'm just saying learn from it because now it's a broken stock. We've got a declining 20-day moving average, declining 50, declining 200-day moving average. We're below the anchor off the April low. We're below the year-to-date anchor. This company doesn't have a product, probably. I don't know. Revenues and earnings, are they, do they, or is it just one of these, concept stocks that got some great momentum and was a great trader for a while. And now it's just being left to, if they didn't scare you out, they'll probably wear you out eventually. It's going to take a while, most likely, for people to get excited about this theme and this group again.
All right, one more, and then Neil, and then maybe we'll wrap this thing up. I got out of some Palantir today. And it's just, it got really, you used the word getting shit kicked. It had gotten that over the last little while. We came all the way down into 150. We're thankfully, Brian, very similar to that Archer at 850 level, we found some support at 150. And I was like, oh man, thankfully that held, because we definitely didn't get enough out here. That was a blow off top on earnings, Brian, if you're wondering. So it did get excited. A lot of buying into earnings, blow off top, and then basically straight down as Peter Thiel, a few other names were going short here in the space, Michael Burry and whatnot. Peter Thiel, actually Peter Thiel wasn't a Palantir one, it was Michael Burry and a few others that were looking short there on Palantir. But I thought, just like this was gonna hold there, I feel like there's a lot of supply and demand push and pull in this area, 175 to 185. So today we are lucky enough to get a little bit out at 175. Good play or nah, let this thing run? What do you think about Palantir?
I like your exit, Sean. Here's a couple reasons. That red anchor off of the all-time high, you see that it's been a little bit of is a supply zone. We've got the declining 20-day moving average. That's that red dashed line below a declining 50-day moving average. And as you mentioned, this prior band of support in here is where we have the potential to have resistance. It just ran from 150 to 175. Really nice percentage move. If it's going to recover and go to new all-time highs, the better scenario would be to pull back, make a higher low, and then get going. But it's likely running out of steam over here. I'm not a big fan of volume typically, but look at the volume on this rally. It's kind of running on fumes up here. So to me, it just says, yeah, probably a good exit. Leave this one alone for a little while.
Great analysis as always, Brian. I got one more for you. But we had a question. There's a couple, and it was Rivian and there was Oracle. I'm going to go with Oracle because everything you said about Archer is applicable to Rivian in terms of that you buy it at 10 to 12, it goes to 17, 18, you take your profits. If you don't take your profits there, what are you doing? That kind of a thing. But Oracle was like the belle of the ball in September for a few days. Went absolutely nuts on that ridiculous guidance. It has yet to find an actual bottom of any semblance. They report next week. And this is going to be popular for but if the AI trade is back on, why aren't we getting into Oracle? But it's about as ugly of a chart as you're going to find in the big cap space for the AI names. So give me a quick analysis here. And is there something to do before it retakes the 200-period moving average? Certainly, I don't love before earnings either. But what are your thoughts on Oracle here?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It was the belle of the ball for a couple of days and has just been annihilated since then. Here's our weekly chart. I mean, we could look and, here's the thing. When you sell off like this, you start throwing everything at it to say, maybe it can find buyers here, the 61.8% retracement off of that low, or maybe the anchor off of, this low, or the anchor off of this high, and it's still below those. So you go back to 2004 and say, what about that low? Well, hey, there's one that fit. So people will tend to curve fit, or they'll take their VWAP and go, hey, it's got support from that anchor right there, which is totally the wrong way to look at an anchored VWAP. But right now, it looks just so awful that this is the type of stock that even if they have bad numbers, it's likely to get a relief rally. But man, it's just broken. Look at how it's been riding this declining 20-day moving average, declining 50. I just, there's so many good stocks out there. Why waste your time with this one is what I think.
Yeah, and thank you for answering that. And there's probably a bunch of other names we could go over here, Brian, but thank you.
Let's do Rivian because
if you want to, because Rivian's a great example. It's just like Archer in a lot of sense. And look, I was in this swing a couple of times, and the first time, I was an idiot. Idiot's the wrong word. It's not the wrong word.
Misjudged. Yeah.
No, I bought it and then didn't sell it when it got to 18, and then it came right back to entry, and then I'm like, okay, well, this time I'm going to sell it. And I stopped playing it, And so like I think I was back here in like November. It's like, oh, it's breaking out. It gets like $17. Didn't do anything with it. It goes all the way back to where it started. And then the second time you take it out, and you've been able to rinse and repeat at least a couple more times in here. Now this one's not on the downswing. It's not broken like Archer, but it's at the $18 level. So it's a little bit different. But until it breaks the pattern, what would you do here?
Well, I'm long some, and you're right. It has that habit of looking great. Here it reminds me also of Oscar, OSCR. That's one that keeps surprising people when it falls apart. But that's the history of the stock. It has these big run-ups. Everyone gets excited about it, and then what happens? Then they get their teeth kicked in. So back to Rivian. This one is. It just happens that I have traded it very, very well. I swing from a swing trade over here on November 10th, sold a third that day, sold a third here, and got stopped out of the balance that day. Now I'm long at $15 and the price. I don't even remember. I think $15.20. Sold a third at $15.60. I've got another third with a stop under here at $17.01 to keep it tight. And just in case it continues to rally, I've got another third of with my stop down at $15.76. So what I'm going to try to do with this one is that if it can run up, I'm thinking maybe if it can run up to the anchor from the IPO, which is near 21, I'd still love to be holding a piece of this one. So what I'm looking at now is looking at a 130-minute chart. And instead of using the higher high with a 5-day moving average, my stop is below the 10 and 20-day moving average. And hopefully I'll have the discipline to continue to hold that I'll sell a third, let's say if it stops under here, and then I'll lock in a nice profit. But if the stock does something like this, maybe I don't panic and it does this, I'll start to be able to, continue to hold up that final third. That's my goal with a swing trade, is get out of a third quickly, simply to reduce risk, tighten the stop so if it comes back, I don't give it all back, and hopefully ride a piece for the longer position. And that's where I am right now with it.
Well, and what I love about that, Brian, is you probably when it's your own position, I bet you could have done that without maybe the exact particular price, which I'm glad you actually went to go and do that. You knew what the plan of action was before. You only just double check what's the actual penny that you're in. And that's what people should do. Like, you just need to have a plan of action that comes to your trades.
Yep.
And I wish you the best of luck on Rivian. I wish I didn't give up on this one, but I did. And it was great a couple times into this level, and it seems like the time I'm not in, it's going to break out. So I think you got a good one there.
I just did that. I just did that for another stock. What did I just sell? And then it turned right around. I don't remember what it was.
Was it Intel or something?
No.
Oh, by the way, Brian, that 50-year anchored VWAP on Intel. I mean, how good was that thing? I mean, that is doubled up to. You want to do another one? You want to talk about Intel a little bit, because Intel's up to $42 today and absolutely ripping. And we got some great news a couple months ago, or maybe it was only a month and a half ago or so, where the U.S. government, of course, put your tax dollars into Intel, and that seems to be working out. Upside here from Intel, or no? I mean, once again, we're at another top. It's kind of like your Cisco question there. Obviously, this is not a 25-year high or anything like that, but a double up on Intel. I mean, we were just talking about this thing at $18, $19, and we were kind of making a meme of it when we were talking about 40 and 50-year VWAPs right there. So what does Intel look like for you right now? Another name that I actually sold a little bit today of.
Well, I'm not sure Neil was familiar, or maybe some of this, afternoon audience, but this is the anchor from the IPO. And Neil, that was in 1984. And we were talking about it over here on the show, Sean and I, and that's where it actually found buyers, which is so crazy to think that it's actually relevant, but it was relevant. Where we are right now, you've got to kind of look at it in terms of just what we looked at in terms of Oscar and Rivian and Archer, which is look at the personality of the stock. It's had a similar type of move here. So Sean, taking a little bit off into strength is always a good idea, because the last move of this magnitude, what happened? Teeth got kicked in there too. Now, I don't think that's going to happen in Intel, but it's always nice to just peel a little bit off, especially after a 4-day run like this. So it seems a little too late to chase it up in here. raise the stops. Maybe if it pulls back, then after the next pullback, you buy some strength after that next dip with your stop underneath the most recent relevant high or low for that time frame. But otherwise, it's just looking beautiful.
And I think that's another example where, like, if you don't put in those stops, then, you know, you get that movement again. And we talked about Archer and things like that, and you're like, well, why aren't you getting out? And I think that's very important, that no matter, even if you're in a bad trade, good trade, whatever, you got to have sort of those pressure points. So, and I think that, you know, all three of us definitely preach risk management.
Have an out.
Because we can all, anybody can throw a dart and then it's right. You know, I mean, that's kind of the thing, but it's about what do you do when you're wrong. And I think
be really good at darts back
used to be really good at darts, yeah. What is your bar game you go to? I like, I mean, I like them all, but
you're
darts,
a pool guy.
yeah, I like billiards, pool, things like that. You ever go to any bars around there in Colorado?
That'd be pool for me, but I'm not much of a bar guy anymore, Sean. I've been a non-drinker for a while.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. Me too, man. I don't go out. I mean, the last time I was out, I don't know, without my kids, probably a couple of years.
Right, most people still go to the bars when they're in their mid-20s. So I'm shocked that you've pulled out of the game there. Surprised.
You know, I've gone to a couple bars in Denver recently just to bring my my niece and nephew.
There you go.
And it seems like the bars aren't the bars that we're used to, where it's just a bar.
Right.
We went to one where it was F1 based, and they had all these F1 video games. And just the other night, we went to a putt-putt mini golf, indoor mini golf. They had 4 different courses, and they have a bar. And you know, that's it seems like you need. You know, it's now you have to have some entertainment as well, which is pretty cool, actually.
I mean, I'm down with that. I mean, I like the bars with the golf simulators in them.
Yeah.
That's always fun as well. So, okay, Brian, next time you're in Toronto, man, we're gonna go to one of those places. That is for sure. So, Brian Shannon, hey, new time. So everybody in the chat, I mean, this is what we're gonna be doing. Brian, promise us, if you're available, you'll join us next week, 2:45, same bat time, same bat place.
I will be here. You got it.
Appreciate
Cheers. That's Brian Shannon, Alpha Trends.
Thanks,
Go
guys.
find him at Alpha Trends on Twitter
Thank
and
you,
on
everybody.
Stock Twits. Ciao, ciao, ciao. See ya. That's Brian. Oh, see, I still have Stock Blitz. That's the only one that I have. We got to get Trader.
Would that work?
Yeah, actually, we can hit
No,
Stock.
Stock Blitz, because we were blitzing Brian with individual names. And thank you, everybody, for sure. Look, if you're next time he comes on here, we'll try to get to as many questions as we can for analysis of as many stocks as we possibly can. Because I know people are in positions all the time, and it's like, look, if I'm in something, I don't mind saying what my position is, but you know, to the point with the Rivian question, or like Brian's in Rivian, he's making a trade in Rivian. Like I haven't traded Rivian in, when's the last time we day traded Rivian? I can't even think about it.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time. But it's
been a hot minute, so it's always good to get different perspectives. And he's been in the chart analysis game for quite some time, and looks at swing trades much more than we do. So just while all that was happening, I mean, Beyond Meat is trying to etch up, but it didn't break down under support. But there was a brick wall of sorts at 132, and I'm in at 31. So I did take a little bit off there, just because it's like getting on in time, and you're gonna be out by the end of the day. And we're not really busting VWAP, and somebody is selling this again at 132. So until it breaks away from that, just gonna have to trim. And I wanted to show you guys the early look imbalances. Oddly enough, it seems like there's some good names in there, but let's be real. CVE, BAC, not terribly exciting. GDX, a 2 million buy. Visa, that'll probably pair off 1.6. AMCR, 1.4 million to the buy side. That's from the morning. Enbridge. Yeah, we were just talking about Enbridge. But ignore that 1.2 million buy on Enbridge. Why? Because it's dual listed. And oftentimes it'll just come out the other direction in Toronto. So it'll be a buy in New York and then a sell in Toronto, which doesn't then do anybody any good. LUV's in there, and BMNR, 1 million sell. That has not affected that stock, and we've been noting that. So I'm not paying as much attention to BMNR when it shows up on the locator, because it's been rather disappointing each time we have. It hasn't been disappointing for the stock today. Up 11%. I mean, heck, it was down 11% at one point yesterday, up 11%, almost back to where it was last week. BMNR is never boring. That's the one thing about the stock doesn't do boring.
Dude, that's only 2 days ago.
Yeah, exactly. But like the bottom to the top, this was 35 to 32. So that's a 10% move. And then you go 31 to 29. Then today you do 30 and a half to almost 33. So BMNR is going to move. You know that much. We got a little bit of we got to go to Adara here.
You guys know Trump is now taking questions at his second announcement / public appearance of the day. Right now, or I guess for the last 20 minutes or so, he has been announcing alongside such individuals as Michael Dell, these Trump accounts, Michael Dell making a pretty hefty investment into these accounts, so this was already reported. Just letting you guys know Trump is speaking, anything can happen, and I'm here to keep you all posted. Back to you.
Oh, Dara.
That's 6.5 billion. Just going to go right into them, or go right into things like the SPY and the Qs. Because I think specifically those accounts could only be invested in like index funds, like not individual stocks. To my understanding, anyway. So Michael Dell, I think it's great. I think, you know what? There's a certain level of, you can say everybody should pay their fair share, but I don't want to get into politics too much. But if you're just going to throw out there and say, I'm not going to say all that stuff, I'm just going to flat out donate $6.5 billion. And anybody that can't start an account to get some financial security for their kids, or maybe that'll certainly help them go to college, which is rocketing prices, or home ownership is almost impossible now. So thank you. That's a good look, Michael Dell. And if anybody,
amazing.
Like, you can't hate on that. My dad used to say something to me, which I believe is the case, because sometimes people will say things like, oh, but you're only donating because you get the good press or tax benefit.
Tax write-off.
And one of the things my pops would say is, you know what? If something does a gigantic good to a lot of people, at the end of the day, who gives a damn who cares what your motivation is? If you did it, it's like, hey, just be happy that it happened. And so I think it's one of those cases, like sometimes you just be happy that it happened, but I think that money's just going directly into the SPY and Qs, which can't hurt us at all.
Yeah, I like that take on it, Neil. I did just want to add one funny thing that Michael Dell just said, is that initially he only wanted to have this happen in his home state of Texas. So kind of weird, but happy that now all of America gets it.
Yeah, as long as you don't Michael Scott that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that was a bad episode. That's one of the worst episodes, honestly. But I feel so bad. Like, he just looks like such an idiot.
But it's Michael Scott.
I know, but I like The Office is one of the best shows, but like as a person, Michael Scott is pretty nasty.
That's the whole point.
I know, and that's what makes it like. Sometimes you feel bad for him, but other times it's like, damn, man. Like, he promised. So if you haven't watched it, he promised basically for 20 years or something. He went in when these kids were in kindergarten and said that he was. See, I'm laughing now, but it's not funny when I was watching it. But I probably watched 10 times. And it's just like he was supposed to raise and have basically a fund, a trust for all of these kids. And it's an inner city group, and they invite him back because they're all graduating. And he's just like, he goes back there, and then they have this big kind of like parade type of thing for him. And they have like a rap that they go on. It's like, yeah, Mr. Scott Dunder Mifflin is all what's about, and this and that. And then boom, he drops the word and goes like, school's not that important, and this and that. And it's just like, the kids are just, anyways. It's
Scott's Tots. That's
Scott's Tots, yeah. No, it's really funny. It's just, I felt like, because I really like Michael Scott, but then that one I was like kind of turning, and that's how you know it's good writing. I mean, it was like a cringe kind of moment for me on that show. But there's lots of those. Office is by far the #1 show for me. Like,
what's the deal with Iran?
Iran?
See, people put Iran. Yeah, Iran down 11% today, and I just saw a few people in the chat mentioning Iran. I pull it up. I'm like, what's something happening here? Yeah. So just trying to find it. There was a story this morning. Yada yada. Oh, so they planned. Oh, here we go. Okay, so after market yesterday, they announced an offering. Yeah, so they're commencing a registered direct offering to a limited number of buyers. The offering of common stock is being put in place to allow the company to fund the repurchase of 2029 convertible senior notes and 2030 convertible senior notes, and Iran taking it on the chin. So there's the aftermarket move, and there is the continuation. Yeah, not everything is at the highs. The NASDAQ might be up 1 point and trending higher, but unfortunately, Iran with an offering, and not the first. So dilution. Well, when you dilute after this has already happened, what goes up must come down, unfortunately. So yeah, it kind of looked like it was on a bit of a relief rally. Ooh.
I'm still waiting.
If we had, see, this is the funny thing. It's like, I can look at the 200 period moving average, but eventually when we get anchored VWAP in P Pro, be interesting to find. Like, you get an anchored VWAP.
Oh, you think are we supposed to be getting it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Got to put requests in. Like there's little,
Yeah,
things,
why not? We
we're
should.
always putting little requests.
But do you have a
in there.
request in, or?
There was I made
Okay.
one. I made one last year. I try for things like that. I'll do a request every couple of months.
Yeah.
Like we have like now in P Pro, you've got the
I haven't seen the halt bands.
it's the halt bands. What I find is
To find a halt stock that's halting.
yeah,
I
like
have it.
it's almost like you have to try to find something that is
PLRZ.
Like PLR. I was gonna say like I looked at my my halt scanner, and so you go to like a PLRZ, and where's my level?
But that halted at 130.
Yeah, so the chances
Come
that it's
on,
going
PLRZ,
to now, like
halt
you might
now.
not see them. Like if you drop down. Yeah, there you go.
We've been getting out of
LULD.
Micron, by
So
the
there
way,
it is at
everybody.
776. It moves so fast, but right there. So 776 LULD. That is the upper halt band right now for PLRZ. So that's going to be it's going to move around obviously every now and then. But yeah, we got the halt bands. Why? Because we requested it. If you're with real trading, and it's like you want something to change in the system, put a request in. Nothing more frustrating than it's like, oh, and then you find out from back office nobody requested that because they assume somebody else will. Your broker should work for you. Like if you don't have access to something, we'll talk about the imbalances in a few minutes. Maybe you don't have access to the imbalance locator. We do. We show it to you guys. That's great. But if you want access to it and you don't, then ask your broker, hey, I know this exists. I want to be able to look at the closing and opening imbalances, or what the open interest on the close looks like, or reopen on a halted stock, or for IPOs before they open up. And this is a tool that I want. How do I get that? And if your broker tells you no, then maybe you want to go somewhere else. I don't know if it's important to you. But you got to ask. You can't be afraid to ask for things. Remember, your broker works for you at the end of the day. They might not always act like that, but they kind of should. Let's be real. They're taking your money.
Yeah,
right?
of course. Yeah, and then everyone comes on here and, not argues, but kind of bitches and complains when Robinhood is down, as you should, right? I mean, let them know. I mean, you should be able to be in and out and have access to your capital, pretty much at all times. So, yeah, definitely let them know, and, that's what we do. And, when the system's down, we were down yesterday for like 10 minutes or so, and, we got right in there and looking after it, and, you get it all figured out from there. All right, so Apple's going to be my P&L number one, but actually Micron on this move has took over from Tesla. So Micron on this move down, it's because we held that last 30% and was able to take advantage of some of these dips down there right now, and now we have about 15% left of Micron as we head into only 20 more minutes until those imbalances, and we showed you what kind of action these imbalances can have on the market, right? And Tesla, there it goes. Like we talked about an AI name, an AI play. I should have maybe asked Brian a little bit about, good there, Fabian, about Tesla, because that name has really had a nice move here this afternoon. I mean, it started at lunchtime where we based out around that 423 area up to 430, trying to get that 431, potentially even higher right now for TSLA, 433, 434, a good top there. I think if we could dip into VWAP there for Tesla, 428.50, that's probably a decent play there. Just looking to see if there's anything hitting around right now, our trade rate or hot list. This is, again, brought to you by eSignal. They've got Tesla on here. They've got Nvidia. I think this is a miss there, ISCG. It doesn't look like it's
not doing anything.
I think it's just frozen there. I don't know what's going on. I don't even see the price moving. All right, Tesla, SMR. Oh, SMR, okay. There we go. So this is why, you want to, I think this got, everything gets hit around. No, it's all good, Fabian. Just, when you're sitting, okay, see, so this is honestly bang.
Which is
Bang again. Like, this is why we look at these scanners and maybe I should just have this up somewhere here so we can sort of always see, I'm running out of real estate here, but SMR just got indicated there as a, trade rate. So, and then it just spikes up. The biggest move of the day right there on SMR. There is probably there behind us. I don't know if is this an Oklo? Is it an Oklo related? This could just be, the market's not really bouncing too much, but there's Oklo there, SMR, NNE maybe if we're going to go to nano-nuclear.
Not seeing anything obvious yet. I mentioned earlier Forbes with a short report on Oklo, but that was in the morning, so.
Yeah, okay, so no, that's all good. Just noticing that it did spike up there on a decent amount of volume, and now it's followed by another volume candle. So Adara may not have the news yet, but I promise you something's happening right now with SMR, because it's not just one random candle here. This is followed now back-to-back, biggest volume bursts of the day. There goes SMR, and of course, called New Scale. And this one was brought to my attention. I think it might have been by Michael, but definitely Brian, as this was a VWAP break or something like that, in and around a lot lower than this. I'm in this name, well, was in this name at 12 or 11 initially. It IPO'd, and it was some sort of a breakout there. Maybe it was this 13 that held, but then we rocketed up to 55, where I was lucky enough, honestly, to sell at 57. Like, that was... did a live on the show, and I couldn't believe the price action on that. And we actually we bought back what we sold at 57 down here at 30.
I can
so
tell
now
you with certainty that it was
stuck
the
there.
October at 13.
This?
Because I remember it distinctly. It was this level here, because I remember I bought at 13.
Oh, yeah,
we
yeah,
were
yeah.
at 12, but it was effectively this hold of the 50 period moving average.
Yeah.
Right in here before it ended up breaking out, and then oddly enough, that was exactly where you could have bought that one again. In April of last year. There was also this EPOW that had a story, Sunrise New Energy, now, but the volume's no good. So I saw a few people mentioning this. Whoops, why is it still SMR? Here we go. Yeah, this also got a random volume spike. But here's one tell as to why I wouldn't chase this. Well, you guys can see the volume candle, so it's done 500,000 shares of volume. It wasn't moving before, and immediately, like the second candle already just instantly dying on volume. So nothing really happening with that EPOW. SMR looking very, very good though. Orc stock. Yeah, SMR back above the 20. This is just another one of those falling knives that didn't quite get back to that 13 area, because I feel like that's the place. It's that 12, 13 support, and sometimes if it's too obvious, you don't get there. Kind of feel like that might be the case, because my intention was to reload this stock. Wait. Even with this 8% up move, look where it is on the daily chart. It's not even breaking out some prior highs. So you haven't done too much. I don't think you got to get any FOMO. We're going to go to Adara, and only 20 minutes left, or 15 till the imbalances. Let's get some news from Adara.
I just want to clarify here, I still have not found anything on SMR or nuclear. It's worth noting SMR has not had anyone mention it on X, like tag the ticker, in over an hour, which is significant. So no one's really looking at this. Unfortunately, guys, I cannot find anything. I've looked into OKTA, I've looked into NNE. Could just be a push higher here. If there is anything to find, I'll let you know. But I do also want to let you guys know here, keep an eye on X at TTV Research. We have implied earnings moves for all of these earnings names after the bell, and there's a lot of big ones. The smallest implied move here is from CrowdStrike, 7%. Large is Asana, nearly 15%, but pretty much all of these are double-digit moves. So again, X at TTV Research. Also excited here to tease out a new infographic we're going to have coming out after the bell on Boeing here, looking at its annual net profit loss and then also annual revenue. Again, X at TTV Research. This one is coming soon, so you guys are getting a sneak peek. I'm going to keep my eyes on these nuclear names. If anything does come up, I'll be the first to let you know. Back to you.
Obi was just looking through some YouTube videos, and he actually, this is from 4 years ago. Look, I had some hair here, it was funny because I was trying to push play because there's a spot, this must be during COVID, because we're not sitting together, and that's what I was trying to, it's the episode where we had Sammy on. Okay, so this might be, oh no, shoot.
Yeah, because you're next to the wall.
Yeah, I'm next to the, all right, I'll find a spot for you guys, but it's 4 years ago right there, and we had one of our friends, Sam, which was trading with us on the floor for a while, and there's Brendan there as well.
Oh, that was it. You just had.
I know. All right, I'm going to let this play in the background, and then find a spot there. And I wanted to show you guys. There's a tons of. Oh, here's Brendo, by the way. Here, Brendan. Let's see a younger Brendan. There he is. Oh, yeah, what's up, Brendan? Actually,
Brendan looks exactly the same.
What the hell, Brendan?
You look literally hasn't changed.
It looks pretty similar over there. 4 years.
Vampire.
4 years ago, Brendan, right there. Yeah, you said vampire. I mean, I think a lot of us have been thinking that, but yeah, I mean, you definitely said it. So, shout out to that. All right, I'll find it. Get off my screen here. I'll find that in another way. But I just wanted to show you that we've never worked from home.
Remember there was like a sneeze screen that Randy put in.
Oh, we had something. Yeah, it was
like this ridiculous plexiglass or whatever the heck material it was that they were going to put in between us on the desk so that we could actually sit at our normal spots. And then that was so absurd.
Here, who's this young guy here?
Oh yeah, I went bald for COVID. That's right.
There we go.
My barber was closed, man.
Neil.
I'm doing that. I'm 100% doing that.
There he is. Wait a minute. This is AAL. I mean, maybe we can find some. Here we go. Look. Oh my gosh. Look at my position. Long Palantir. Let's go. $23.
$23.
This is what we're talking about. Let's go. I still.
PE at 14?
Yeah, man, this is what we're doing right now. These are the positions, baby, that we're talking about. There's Palantir, GE, Rocket Labs, Rocket. There. Oh, pause.
There it is.
There it is. Oh, Valeria is in the building. What's up, Valeria? Oh, beside Valeria, I used to put up my kids' drawings as well. So I was on there's Neil, there's me, of course. There's Valeria. So I used to put up my kids' drawings on the board. We had a little art collection there, and we sat far away. And now, these desks, and then this is when we used to have all of these. What do you want to look at?
No, like it was the same stream deck.
Yeah, same yeah, these are our stream decks here, same everything, going, same charts, logo, like this is all right here, right now. So we want to thank everybody for all the history that we have here. And thanks, Obi, there you go, see it. Obi for sending that through, and he said, look what I stumbled upon, and I don't know, that was from him. So thanks, Obi. He says he's liking the facial hair, but we went clean there. So that was a lot of fun back in the day.
No, but you know what? I'll say it. The swimming, going to the gym, you're the one that looks younger, actually.
Yeah, well, I am a vampire.
Well,
but I really like garlic.
Brendan's the vampire. I still think he's a vampire.
Yeah, there's Brendan. Brendan's on the phone right now. He's phoning. He's like, look, man, I need to age. You know, people are on. You
should see what happens when he looks in
people are on to me.
Or what doesn't happen.
Right there. But yeah, so there goes. We just took another fill there on Micron 340 coming in there. So yeah, okay. So earnings today. Let's go over to Adara. Adara, do you have a graphic about all the earnings? I do. All right. When that is filled up there, we're going to go to Adara because Marvell's a really interesting name, and we covered that today with Brian. And yeah, out here around 95 bucks. There it is, Adara. So OKTA, Marvell, GitLab. Look at those earnings percentages at the bottom. So those are big, Adara.
And I also have earnings previews you can find on X with the details on the last report and a glimpse into this report for Marvell, AEO, Asana, and CrowdStrike. You can find all of those on X at TTV Research. And the American Eagle one does feature Sydney Sweeney, so check it out.
Okay, yeah, let's put that back up there. I just want to see, it's a quick case O'Neill here. Let's play a game. I mean, we always do this. Which one's going to move the most? No, put it back in there. All right, put it back. Yeah, I like the AEO call because of the past.
Before,
yeah,
it's still
yeah. Well, you saw, look, if it has any sort of legs to it, we saw not Gap, it was last week, ANF, that's what it was.
No, it was two.
Urban Outfitters, all moved 40%.
That's insane.
All right, I'll take GitLab just because it's so random.
Doesn't GitLab have a history, and I could be wrong about this because of one or two times that we saw it?
That's why. I just think it's a very...
GitLab had a few disaster
GTLB.
Earnings plays.
I feel like...
They don't have bad, they have terrible earnings.
All right.
Moves.
Get rid of those earnings. All right. Yeah, thanks, Adara. Again, go to @TTV Research. And you guys can find all of that every single day. Adara is like putting in so much work into all that. Okay, so this is GitLab. Honestly, this is like just, I don't even know what this is doing right now. This kind of does look like something that Brian would say, like every time it gets up here, why don't you just sell it? Like you said there with Archer, and then you're not caught in all of this. But you know, this does have a $40 bottom, it looks like. That is a big problem if they lose that, and then you get back into these April lows, which would be 28. So look out for GitLab today. That 14% move does seem small considering this up and down. We were just at $52 last week, down to 40 again there. That's GitLab looking to do something there. And again, that's that public domain for coding and things like that. GitLab, I don't even know how they make money, but there it goes. GT.
Do they even make money is the first it's not how.
I'm going to say they probably do.
I'm going to be skeptical. I'm going to guess that they do not turn a... Maybe they do, but I'm going to guess they do not turn a... Sorry, I'm just trying to call it up now. Okay, there we go. Why did that take so long?
They have a PE or no?
It's so crazy. They do not have a P. 4P is 40, but they do not have a...
Okay, so they're supposed to turn a profit then today.
Supposed to turn a profit tonight.
Let's wait to see.
And 8 times sales for GitLab. And the monthly chart, well, that's not very good. Yeah, that's not good. But hey, 40, like you said, 40 is a level.
Yeah.
GitLab in there. And if underneath that 40, there's 30. So hey, if you liked it at 40, you'll love it at 30, they say.
Oh boy, yeah, no, that is, all right, so we are getting, I like this. Here, I'm going to find that comment by Vizbot on there. I think that's pretty funny as we talked about vampires and all of that. I don't know. Every time I scroll and there's,
That dude does.
there's that movie there with vampires. Is Tom Cruise one? What is that
Interview
one?
with the Vampire?
Yeah, that's one of the old school ones. There.
The real old school
There has to be way better vampire movies than that.
There is a way better one. It's back in the day with Alyssa Milano. I don't even remember the name of it.
Oh yeah, Alyssa Milano. Pretty good, for sure. One of my favorite, honestly, like from Who's the Boss? I mean, I love that show, man.
I don't even remember the name of the movie, but I don't remember the name of the movie, but I remember the movie.
I'm gonna get out another spot right there. Yeah, she was working with the NFL. Good Italian there, Alyssa Milano. So shout out to her. All right, yeah. No, the comment was just like, here it is from Vizbot. It just says, I know you're a vampire. Watch you get more powerful as MU bleeds today. There it is. Yeah, there we go. There as MU does bleed down. And yeah, like I said, this is now, for me, the #1 P&L name. And we actually were red on it. Right? Well, I guess close enough to red anyways, or flat, as we took some profits there and then got waxed on the way up. And then we just said, you know what, man, that high, we probably got out a little too early, 241. The market was probably, I mean, MU is a better short than the market because I wouldn't have made as much money if I shorted the market. But this like triple top, boom, boom, boom. Right there, triple top, so top dog there today with Micron. I just wanted to look at the imbalance locator just real quickly here, just to see if there's anything of interest. And of course, these will populate in 6 minutes now at 3:50. Right now, these are just looks from the broker. So all these things that say BRK are on here are just our broker letting us know what's available to buy or to sell on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, because it's still posted up on those tops on those boards. So if you guys are ever at the NYSE, you'll see still at their posts. It will have market on close and market on open and balance data. So that kind of gets funneled through here. Also, same kind of ways. I think it's more automated, but same more kind of ways for the NYSE American, so the former Amex. So there's BMNR as a sell. And we always note these things as it gets closer and closer to that time. Whenever BMNR has a bigger move, there tends to be some kind of action right there. So sell side. And then, of course, as I was saying about the broker, at 345, all these brokers will disappear. Then the NYSE, so like right there, and then NASDAQ will start appearing. This NYSE is from 9:30. So they'll start appearing with live data that will refresh basically every second. And we'll be able to adjust our trading. Like if Micron comes a monster buy, then this stock will rip up. You know, if it comes a sell, then it should continue lower. But that's something where, unless you guys have another source that gives us NASDAQ names, I don't really
I believe there is one.
Neither do I. I don't really. Oh yeah, CrowdStrike also into earnings. Oh, I still own CrowdStrike. Haven't sold a dime of that one since when, Adara? August of 24. They had that.
July 19th, 2024.
July 19th, 2024. So there you go. Haven't sold any since then, but really haven't bought too much more of that either, I don't believe. So we'll look to see what CrowdStrike is doing. I think that's going to be a real good name, like Zscaler. Maybe I'll just choose this. I don't know. GitLab was more of a whatever kind of a play, but Zscaler had a big move. So did Fortinet, had a big move. And
huge move.
Fortinet was obviously like 30% downside. Hopefully that doesn't happen here for CrowdStrike. But there's that dip buy opportunity in right here. It was back in 2024, as Adair just mentioned, in July, where we dipped back in, and now you're basically a double. That was 240, 220.
Some respect on the 200 period on that stock.
Oh yeah, this is a great stock, and if we can fall back into 450, I really like this. And actually, I've made a mistake. I should have stepped into PanW and bought a little bit more Palo Alto.
Oh, I'm the other way.
I don't know if it's still down or not.
I skewed myself by selling some CrowdStrike, but not selling PanW.
180.
Last year or early this year.
No, I don't mean to sell any. I mean to buy more.
So I need to buy, so the next buy is going to be in CrowdStrike. It's the only two I want to own. I don't want to dabble in any of the other stuff. Those are the two. 50-50 in both of them. With 3 minutes to go, I had to throw this. Oh, shoot, where'd it go? Oh, I had it all lined up. There was a comment, there was a question in the chat. I had it lined up, but I didn't hit enter. There it is. We'll get the imbalances in just about 3 minutes or so. But a guy from Morgan, this is the easiest. No, this has never happened. Has anyone ever had a Bill O'Reilly freak out on air? Nope. You can't take yourself too seriously. And for
I had
anyone
fun with that
doesn't know-
keyboard that one time. I threw the keyboard away, but that was just for fun.
Like if you're having a if you're taking a piss or like having a laugh.
We
or,
should have some highlight
or something
reels.
like that. Like that's clearly a joke. Like Bill O'Reilly when that clip, the doing it live, like he was seemingly pretty pissed off in that moment. But no, you have to be able to. The example I'll use is there was one day I was talking to Sharif about this. Like we came on at 8:30 in the morning, and at about like 7:45 or some nonsense. Like I just got the most egregious like pre-market trade of my entire career. Like it was just like I didn't want to, like you're in, it's like it wasn't so much that it wasn't my biggest loss ever, but it was definitely the worst, dumbest loss that I've ever had because like effectively the stock didn't move except for me getting out of it. Like me getting out of the stock was the entire reason it moved a ridiculous amount. And then of course at the open it would have been a winning trade. And I remember just being like, you could be in a bad mood, but what's the point? Like it happened, move on. You can't take yourself too seriously, to be honest with you. And if you kind of let your emotions get the best of you on air when talking to a cool crowd, then what's going to happen if you get like a fat finger trade or something like that? There was a story on
Darth Trader, like I'm not worried about the Chicago Bears.
What's wrong with the Bears?
Stop.
Someone was talking about the Bears players in the chat. I'm like, why are we bringing up Bears players? Is that what it was about? He's like, Mananga. I'm like, he's a good player. I like him.
I mean, the Bears, maybe they win. I don't know. I mean,
Do they even have a positive?
A clock is right. The Bears are 8-3, man.
No, but I actually think their plus minus is like even. Like,
oh, maybe.
Meaning they've been a little bit fortunate in close games.
Yeah. There's been it should be a great game. That is for sure. Right there. I don't know if you.
I don't have anybody going in.
That's funny. This is a typical Bears fan right here. See, I think you might have meant to say bear down, but instead you said bread down. Right there in the chat. So what's up, Mr. Englewood there? So, your wife is Packers. Okay, well, Darth Trader, smart woman right there. And you're Bears. So, yeah, big weekend in your house for sure. Yeah, it should be exciting game right there. I don't know. I'm probably busy on Sundays, but remind me, that's probably 4 o'clock? I hope it's the Sunday.
Gotta be 4 o'clock.
Sunday night is generally.
They should be flexing that.
That's for the NFC North title.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's absolutely, right now the Packers are unfortunately in a wild card spot. But the Packers, it's funny, the story is that the Bears have had 27 starting quarterbacks, and the Packers have only had 3 in the last 30 years, something like that. It's absolutely crazy. All right, Neil's mic is apparently bad again. Okay, those imbalances are now out right now. So let's go over and check out what those imbalances are saying, if I can even find it.
Nvidia
there it is.
buy, Google buy, if my mic isn't crapping out.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, I was going to edit this because I still have it for the wrong sources. But the market's trying to go. There it is.
1.8.
Yeah, Nvidia's nice buy. BMNR stayed a buy. I just saw that for a minute. There's Nvidia's trying to spike up. I don't know. Micron's gone back up to the upside a little bit there, but we've cleared out of that. And we still have Apple still $350 in the money. Apple's a great stock there as well. There's the Google buy, spiked up and then came right back in. Google to me is the most interesting name because I really love everything Google's doing. And if there's a pullback into 280, man, I'm eating that one up. I like, that was pretty stupid. I really like eating, that too, but getting some Apple and some Google. So those are the 2 names for me. I mean, I do like Amazon as well, but those ones we got to put that into our account a little bit more. And then Alibaba is dangerous. Although we asked Kevin about this yesterday, he says he really likes the stocks, but then again, it's that same thing. And I'm never going to ask Brian about it because I've already asked him about it 1,000 times. He's the same way. He doesn't necessarily like Chinese names because of the exposure, the risk of the government, and what can happen there at any time. Like if these guys somehow disrupt anything that Trump is dealing with, we've already heard that, hey, we will just boot them off of exchange. Like, I don't know, I'm not sure the legality of that, but I'm pretty sure it can happen if the administration wants it to. So
it can happen.
Apparently anything can happen if they wanted to. So we're gonna find out. Except for firing Lisa Cook. Lisa Cook is still a Fed member, right, Adara? I mean, I thought.
That is correct.
Okay, so there you go. So that was one thing. If there's anything Trump, I guess, wasn't able to do, has been that. But I like Alibaba. So I think Alibaba, Google, and Apple. I know that's they're all chalk names, but I like those names.
The thing about playing chalk is that it's a high probability you win. That being said, if you got to risk your own money or don't have enough to start with, you might stay out of the game for the fear of losing anyways. And it keeps a lot of traders on the sidelines, and that's changing. Trade the Pool is changing that with their limited risk trading model, and you can use funded capital, and Trade the Pool takes the downside. This allows traders to focus on what matters: discipline, consistency, and growth. And when you hit the profit target, you keep 70% of the profits. No fear of barriers, just a real opportunity. This is the revolution of limited risk trading, powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get 10% off your first evaluation. And thank you to Mitch, we had on this morning, for providing some of his thoughts as well. There was a name on the list. It was, oh, it's gone. Oh, it's still there. Yeah, Lamb with a 1 million sell imbalance. You don't usually, that was the one that, of all the names on the locator, it was the highest percentage of, well, one of the highest percentages of volume, but I looked to see if there was a potential trade into the high, and the algos took that one already. But Lamb with a somewhat significant imbalance, if you're really, really quick with it, you could have had it into this 159, but starting to break down, up 2%, like, oh, that's right. Not split adjusted. Very, very good and strong name. Compare them to, like, they essentially make the machines and make the chips, right? So they're going to be an AI play, kind of an undercover AI play, but maybe one that people don't think about nearly enough or as much. Lamb, ASML, put them a little bit above AMAT in that hierarchy, but a good company that kind of gets ignored a lot. But the chip name that is taking the cake in about 10 minutes or so, obviously after the bell, Marvell is going to be a big mover. But for right now, it's Intel. 9%, 52-week highs. It's breaking out, and it looks absolutely gorgeous for Intel. And I got to get off that GitLab. I don't want my monthly chart on eSignal to be looking at something nasty like GitLab. We want it to be looking at what's happening here on Intel. An epic breakaway trade is happening on the monthly here for Intel. Target 50, it seems like. Intel's changed. Got to start coming in here and not waiting for the chance to short it.
I would really like to get some.
Look at that go. 41.
Yeah.
False break at 41. Dip into, what did Brian say? VWAP, and then go.
Yeah, same play that we made on Apple, which is now $3 in the money. So yeah, playing trend is something that's easy to do, but tough to wrap your head around, because you always feel like you're paying too much, because you always want to get a little lower, especially when there's a trend. But here it is, man, 447 likes, 4,600 watching. So let's get a little bit better than 10 to 1 here, 10%. We got to get those likes going. So if you've been watching the show and we got Brian Shannon on, hit the like button for that, if nothing else. But there, thanks, Brian, for coming on. Thanks for everybody for hitting the like button as well. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe, because it's 8 a.m., man. Tomorrow at 8 a.m. We'll be live one more time, and we'll go over all the earnings that are about to hit right now. I mean, we got Marvell coming in pretty soon. We basically got out of, so we've, as those imbalances hit, I know it's still showing me in, but we got a bunch out. I can just cover it all. Apple also, but it's Marvell earnings tonight, as nothing's really going to be happening into the close for many of these names. OKTA, I think, should be really interesting there, as they're the data privacy company. So watch out for OKTA in AI. Maybe there's something there. And the big one, I think, that we're going to be probably talking about tomorrow as far as a percentage move one way or the other. The only thing is, man, it's priced for perfection. Like, they're not moving up here because of themselves. They moved up, because, yeah, there's a nice short float on this name. And then the second reason is we've had such a huge move up in those other names. The other sort of smaller retails, the Five Belows, the Urban Outfitters, the Abercrombie & Fitch, stuff like that continue to move higher. Walmart's at all-time highs right now. Target's trying to bounce. Lulu's bouncing. So there's a nice opportunity here for American Eagle today to put up another good number. But they're already up, like, from $17 last week up into $21 today. So they're going to have to put something up in order to justify this most recent move. So I would actually favor the short side in AEO today heading into their report. So
yeah, with a stock that's motivated by the short float, I just feel like it's the only way that it's not a trade tomorrow if it's close to flat. If it moves less than 10% in either direction, I don't want to touch it, because that's just a huge disappointment in my opinion. Of course, the one day that we don't look at BMNR, the imbalance actually grew on it. It just went up to 2.2 million shares, but that was just by way buy side. And then BMNR does what? Goes down. So it actually grows the imbalance and goes to the downside. So unfortunately for BMNR, it's a bit of a kind of a weird trade. It's almost like you want to fade it on the imbalances. Let's go back to Adarif one last time, 2 minutes till the close.
I finally got the headline on nuclear. It, for some reason, is just circulating now. The U.S. Department of Energy announced today that they've selected the Tennessee Valley Authority and Holtec Government Services to support early deployments of advanced light water and modular reactors in the U.S. The only name that really reacted was SMR. Again, now this story is seemingly dated, but it just came out now. U.S. Department of Energy here with some light water and small modular reactors announcements here. Back to you.
See,
There we go.
Bad. It's lower though than when the
I know, when it came out, it was up 9%. Now it's up 5%. But thank you so much to Others Zinc in here again, as well as you're talking about. Good show again today. So thank you so much for that. Just keep on watching, man. The shows are, today's show was good, but tomorrow's show's gonna be better.
Shout out to
every
Brian
day.
for coming on.
Yeah,
If you have questions for Brian we didn't get to, save them for next week.
Too bad. Yeah, join us.
You gotta wait a whole week.
Yeah, you gotta wait a whole week, or find him at
Or hit him
Alpha
up.
Trends.
Yeah,
Yeah, at Alpha Trends over there on X. He has actually a subscription part of his Twitter, but he does answer questions. Just tell him you're from Trader TV Live, and I'm sure that he will be more than happy to help out on anything that you may have. I mean, he's all about the education. We actually talked about that with him right now. Or I'm going to get on my last 1% literally on Apple right there. I was waiting for it to break through 285, but bang. Nice move up, 286, 283, 286. Good trade there. The all-day trade, baby. We get into Apple early, man, and there it is, exactly what Brian was, I mean, there's nothing to do with Brian, but what he was talking about, pullbacks into VWAP for strong names or short names, pull-ups to VWAP. Watch out for support and resistance levels. Apple today, we knew it had the juice. It got going early. We were able to take that long right off the open and then right into the close again, but just topped it out up there. Micron, honestly, I'm just going to get out. We have less than a minute now, and I'm just going to punch out there. Nope. I closed the spread, but nope. There it is. Okay, we get out at 60s. They're on Micron, so we drop that trade. It will turn out that Apple actually winds up being my P&L number one, followed by Micron, Tesla, VCIG. Only 4 names traded there. With only 30 seconds left, again, the NASDAQ will be out 1% almost. That's a great job there. Up 1%, but going out on the day, up 1%. The ES 0.2% right there. What a good, what a good day. Yeah, we looked at that scanner. There's actually financials are actually doing pretty good, but for the most part, tech names today leading the way.
And with only 10 seconds to go, the bell brought to you by 3D Capital. Check out and scan that QR code you see out in front of you. They got a $1,000 giveaway. Shout out to them for sure. As now,
yes, it is now
closed.
Is closed. All right. Yeah, 4 o'clock. Look, if something hits real quick, we can talk about it. But we're live now at 8 a.m. So you guys make sure that you do join us tomorrow at 8 a.m. where we'll be going over everything. Normally Raheem comes through on Wednesday, but I think he's traveling, so I'm not sure that he'll be on. But one of the coolest things, Raheem's come in before in a hot tub. He's going to be here in studio. All right, there he goes. Brendan confirms it. He will be here. But I was getting at the story I was getting at was, is Marvell out, by the way?
Marvell's moving.
Marvell trying to move. Yeah, no, not doing anything. Raheem came one time, I think he was in Calgary or something, and he was in a hot tub. And then there was one time where he was on a wicked balcony in Barcelona or maybe Madrid, somewhere in Spain there. And that was a lot of fun. So we want to thank Raheem for always coming up with the goods. And if you missed on some metals questions, Raheem tomorrow maybe we'll be covering that, and maybe we can slip some questions to him as well. Gives us a little bit more time in the morning, right?
Yes.
With the guests.
Looks like Octo might be out.
Okay.
Not to beleaguer.
No, Marvell's not out.
Okay,
There's Octa, $85, trying to go a little bit higher right now. We can stay just for a couple more seconds, but yeah, so Octa results are now out, so it doesn't look like too much happening there. 5% there, but yeah, you guys remember that hot tub trader? Yeah, that was a little funny moment there.
Only Raheem
on the show as well. And then AEO not out yet. We'll wait for those, but yeah, so that was a pretty good day. We'll talk about all these tomorrow for sure.
And Christmas, no, the studio will not be getting a hot tub to accommodate.
It actually will be.
Raheem. But there is actual room. We're
getting one over there.
There's room in the corner, but
we're
doing cool there.
Hot tub.
The couch would be nice.
We're gonna get a hot tub and then a hot tub time machine as well. And that way, if we could get into the time machine, then we'll be able to tell you what prices are eventually coming. I mean,
not a bad.
I told my kid, like, if you ever travel, back in time, forward time, whatever. especially forward, grab me a newspaper if they exist. I don't think they'll exist. I want to know the prices of
Back
stocks.
to the Future, he's like, Biff takes the almanac that's like this thick and somehow is able to bet on every single sport. What almanac do you know that's like a magazine that's like that thin that's going to tell you everything that happened in the last 50 years? But still a great movie.
Yeah, I know. Silky Smooth, man. I enter the sauna, not the hot tub after.
The sauna.
I don't have the Prime membership for the hot tub right
Kinda
there.
hoping we could-
Marvel's not out. Octa's not out.
Yeah, we're not going to drag this on until
All right, guys, go figure it out yourself. Thank you so much for watching again here. Octa's out, but it's not moving. So whoever chose that one for the most random mover might wind up losing there.
The American Eagle.
Yeah, Powerball numbers, another great thing to know if you got a newspaper. I don't even need Powerball. Just give me the random municipal lottery, man. I'll take a milli, no problem. And I'll just give it to Joe, and we'll get some options plays going on that one. Okay, thank you so much, man. That's Neil. I'm Sean. That's Joe. That's Brendan. That's Adara. Thank you so much to Ramin here today. Fabian made some cameos in the background there. I'm glad he didn't fall off the ladder. And a big shout out to Andre as well. So yeah, man, great show today. Great. Everything's just really popping off for us now. The guests are coming through. We have a great studio, new times, new everything. It's an absolute amazing opportunity here at Trader TV, and we're just growing. And so thank you for finding us. Just make sure you're back tomorrow.
8 a.m., everybody.
Ciao till then.
Go Marvell.